Any questions?
Stop it.
Half-price hot tubs. Hot tubs, swim spas, and outdoor furniture at the best prices. See us at halfpricehottubs.com.
WPHT, WPHT-HD, WOGL HD3 Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app. Live and local with Matt Rooney on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Top of the morning to you, Henry. Even though it's 7:20 in the East.
You could have tricked me. I'm tired like it's still the morning.
You can't see. I don't think we have a producer cam up, right?
No.
Yeah, we can't have a producer cam because this is a family program, ladies and gentlemen, here on 1210 WPHT. Welcome back to the Matt Rooney Show, where I am wearing green. I am fired up. Erin go bragh, Ireland forever. But Henry, maybe for about 5 minutes. How many bars do you think you visited yesterday, Henry?
Only like
conservative estimate.
Only like 3 or 4.
Only 3 or 4?
Yeah.
Are those the ones you remember?
Yeah, I remember being at all the bars. It wasn't one of those days, but it was still a big undertaking.
It was still an undertaking. Your liver is not happy with
you. Never is after a night out.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
But did you have fun?
I did. Yeah, I had a blast.
Good. I'm glad you did. I remember those days of having the availability to go out on St. Patrick's Day or the eve of St. Patrick's Day and to pour down my gullet beer, dyed green, and Jameson, and all the other delicious things that are associated with Ireland, either for good reason or not. The Irish potato, we need to do some research on that. I had 2 already today. I'm unaware of any coconuts in Ireland that are native to the Emerald Isle. Yeah. I could be missing something. There's got to be a story there.
How did it get that name?
I don't know. I had a epiphany this evening I was eating one.
I do enjoy those, every year. Like, like a box is a perfect enough amount to share with your family, so that way you don't get sick of them.
Yeah, share.
Because you eat too many, you're like, oh, what am I doing with myself?
Share. That's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, share. Do not eat the whole box of Irish potatoes yourself.
I basically an Irish potato right now. If you had to analogize me to one thing, it would be an Irish potato. I'm just full of cinnamon and creamy coconut. That's what you would get if you cut me open. So I'll leave you with that visual. Hey, by the way, 855-839-1210. If you want to call in and participate on this St. Patrick's edition of the Matt Rooney Show, emphasis on the Rooney. I am an Irishman. I don't know how much. I haven't done one of those genealogy projects that everyone's interested in.
Yeah, I did
these days.
I did a while back.
You did one.
Yeah, I look at it from time to time, see how it changes. Because
yours changes?
Well, it changes based on the more data they get from
I
other
see.
people.
I thought you were transitioning to a different nationality or something.
Yeah.
I mean, it's 2024. Maybe you can be. It used to be "Kiss Me, I'm Irish." Everyone's Irish for a day. There's probably trans Irish out there.
Well, I'm full-time Irish. I would I'm half Irish here.
Biologically,
yes. Biologically Irish, biologically Italian, and a bunch of other things take up that other quarter.
Everyone's relatives invaded and mutilated and conquered everybody else's relatives at some point or another.
Yes.
That's what those genetics tests ultimately teach you.
There's 1% of me that was in Turkey or whatever. Maybe that was
that was a hell of a night for your great grandfather.
I don't know what was going on there.
Yeah. Interesting side trip to Istanbul.
Yeah.
Back in the Middle Ages. Yeah, I've never done one of them. I know that I'm part Ukrainian. It doesn't make me feel obligated to give them any more money than we already have, but I've got that in my makeup.
You gonna go fight?
I wasn't planning on it.
No.
Wasn't planning on it, no.
What's stopping you? That wife and kid stuff?
Hardest it passes. I don't think they take me at this point. I just told you I have the composition of an Irish potato.
That's true.
I mean, I would be horrendous. I mean, just think about this. You know me well enough, Henry. I don't take orders well, right? I'm loud. My eyesight sucks. Look at this lime green shirt I'm wearing. If you're watching on YouTube, youtube.com/@1210WPHD. I would be, like they talk about zombie apocalypse, first day dead.
Yeah.
I would be first day dead if you deployed me to Ukraine.
Would you just give up, like, I don't know, in a zombie apocalypse, or if you were in the war, would you just be like, what am I doing here?
Well, I mean, if I was fighting Russians, I'd try to kill a Russian.
Sure.
I'd make a good faith attempt. I don't know if I could pull it off.
What about zombies?
Zombies? I mean, so let's break this down. I haven't given this any thought. I wouldn't want to be eaten by a zombie. That's a terrible way to go.
Okay, that's fair.
That's pretty horrendous, right? That's one step above getting fed feet first into a wood chipper.
Yeah.
That does not interest me. I think I would try to make it if I thought I could get somewhere safe, right? And I know that's the entire plot of the AMC series, them trying to find someplace safe.
Yeah, I feel like that's every zombie movie.
That's every zombie movie. Right, but like I don't really need other people to entertain me, but if I could theoretically to get someplace remote where I was safe from zombies, maybe find my own hill up in the Poconos where I could read and maybe have a little patch of vegetables, eat some taters, some tatoes. St. Patrick's Day, so you have to say it like that, tatoes. I can make it go with that for a while.
Okay.
But you're gonna just tap out first day?
No.
Zombie apocalypse?
No, I wouldn't. I'd do my best to survive.
I mean, you're probably done because you live in Philadelphia.
Well, yeah.
I mean, these people are half zombie already. So you're done.
I'd be tempted to come up here, if zombies, they can't get through the glass here, it's nice and secure in here, soundproof, they can't hear us. If it's one of those, like The Last of Us zombies where it's based on hearing.
Well, that's the other thing you have to sort out, right? What are the rules of this particular zombie universe?
Is it like a contagion zombie? Are they undead zombies? Are they
right?
cordyceps zombies from The Last of Us? Yeah.
So that might have something to do with it too, right?
A lot of factors. Yeah.
The zombies in Walking Dead, and I've only watched the first couple seasons, full disclosure.
Right.
So if there's some
Me too.
hardcore fans out there and I'm missing something, my bad. Don't take it personally. Don't be triggered. But those were pretty stupid zombies.
Very slow.
Very slow. Very, they weren't very good at perceiving with their senses what was happening a certain distance away. The scary thing about them is they'd form a horde and they would, wash over a particular part of the countryside where maybe you were hanging out and hoping to stay for a while. Why are we talking about this on St. Patrick's Day? I have no recollection of how we went down this road.
My mind is just wandering today, and I think I've led you astray today. And it probably won't be the last time, so buckle up.
Oh, Henry's full of the blarney today. Well, we're going to have fun on this St. Patrick's edition of our program. We've got a great guest coming up in the second hour at 8:30. State Senator Jersey Joe Panaccio of New Jersey's 26th legislative district. He's not Irish, as you can guess from his last name. Panaccio is not an Irish last name, but he's here to talk about something that's pretty darn important to just about everyone in our audience because we all feel very strongly about it. Governor Murphy finally shared with the people of the Garden State his $9 million COVID postmortem report this past week. It's an independent report, but it was financed with tax dollars. And it's about what you'd expect. It's a complete and total whitewash of New Jersey's COVID experience. Jersey Joe, who was one of the leading critics of the Murphy administration, both during the pandemic and after the pandemic, went through the painstaking process of poring over each and every page of this massive tome and has prepared a rebuttal. And we shared it over on my website, savejersey.com, earlier this week. I invited him to come on and talk to me about it tonight and to share with you what he found. It's aggravating, and the fact that, as I said, taxpayers finance this thing makes it all the more maddening. But it's important because even though we're getting further and further removed from the initial COVID event, 4 years ago, that's how long it's been, they locked us down and tried to take our spirit. I think it's going to play a role in this year's election. I do, because not only do some of the remnants of COVID policy continue with us today, and we're still living with some of it, but both Donald Trump and Joe Biden were active during COVID. It's kind of an odd experience. Normally you have the non-incumbent, the challenger, running against the individual who would like to claim that they came in and cleaned everything up. Donald Trump is the one that preceded Joe Biden, obviously. So these are two men that can have a first-person, first-hand exchange as to who was right and who was wrong. So I don't think there's any getting away from it. So this New Jersey report, I think, takes on added relevance. So we'll look forward to talking to Jersey Joe about it a little bit later tonight. We'll make him an honorary Irishman for the evening. And we have plenty of other nonsense we want to talk about. Some of it consequential, some of it Henry and I just find entertaining. That's how we do it on the Matt Rooney Show. Even when Henry's not hungover and I'm not tired from waking up with little kids at 6 o'clock in the morning, our mind goes where it goes, and you just got to follow along. And that's part of the compact that you agree to if you are a member of the Matt Rooney Show audience. And, Henry, I'd still rather be me than hungover, just for the record. But I did have to wake up early this morning to make sure that the leprechaun trap was sprung and that goodies were left by the leprechaun. This is something I did not grow up with. I had no concept of this until a couple of years ago.
I remember a leprechaun came and destroyed my kindergarten classroom, but not any others for the rest of the time. So I don't know what the deal with that was.
So when you were in kindergarten, which would have been, what year were you born? 2001?
I was in kindergarten. This would have been spring 2005.
Okay, so this is the mid 2000s. All right. See, at that point, I was already in college. This was not a thing when I was a kid. You had Santa Claus,
right?
And he would come and he'd bring you presents. The Easter Bunny would bring you a basket. Maybe there was a very modest toy in there, but it was mostly candy.
Right.
That was it. That was the child calendar in terms of non-birthday gifts from your parents. There was no leprechaun leaving goodies.
Gold coins.
That was not, you maybe got a gold coin around St. Patrick's Day. You're in the store, your mom or your dad, your grandparent will buy you some of the gold coins. Maybe you get a thing of Irish potatoes, right? That's it. That was not part of the deal. Everything is now a thing.
Yeah.
Parents have made everything a thing. And it's frustrating.
Is it parents or is it corporations who would love for you to spend money on Arbor Day?
It's both, right? Well, that probably is the next thing, right? Leave a little present, leave an acorn for the tree in the backyard. And I don't know.
Leave.
Yeah. Oh, see what I did there? Yeah. Hey, now. And some hippie will come in your house and leave your granola. I don't know. Earth Day, Ira Einhorn will compost your least favorite relative.
Oh.
What's next? But it's I know I'm complaining, but that's part of what this program is. It's me vetching about things. Everything has now become complicated, and parents and my fellow parents out there of young children, you know who you are. You understand where I'm coming from. Maybe even some of the grandparents can relate. You have less time than ever in our daily day-to-day existences, and we continue to create complications. Some kids, apparently, for this leprechaun thing, the leprechaun leaves real presents. I don't know where a leprechaun finds the time to assemble a bicycle, right?
He's not assembling anything. He's buying it with the gold coins.
Is that how it works?
I would assume.
Does Amazon accept gold coins?
I mean, it's worth more than our money.
It's probably true. That's about right.
You're telling me they would decline like a cauldron of gold coins?
I don't think Bezos would, but
Bezos probably sleeps on a cauldron of gold coins.
He probably does. Listen, I would if I was Jeff Bezos.
Yeah.
I could give you a list of things I would do if I had Bezos' money. But look, I refuse to go to that point. My kid got a little pot. I made like a little thing that looked like a pot of gold, and I filled that thing with gold coins. And there's a couple other little pieces of candy, and that's it. I refuse to make this mini Christmas 3 months later. Enough's enough. Everything should not be a present for children.
Fight back against Big Hallmark.
But
you can spearhead it.
But there's parents on these boards, right? There's parents on these boards, right? So we can't just blame corporations. Corporations are us. If there was no demand for this stuff, there wouldn't be a market for it.
Well, he created demand.
I think it's Yes, but I think it starts with social media.
Oh, 100%.
It starts with this innate human desire to brag and to be validated and to be recognized for doing something.
Yeah.
And that's how it starts because other parents start posting on Instagram, "Oh, look at the most elaborate leprechaun trap that I came up with. Aren't I an amazing parent?"
All it takes is one Pinterest idea, one Instagram post, and boom, wildfire.
Yes.
And it could be planted. You never know.
It could have been planted. And I have no doubt that there's synergy there, right? So it starts with parents behaving this way, and then corporations caught on, and then they plan it. We know that they pay influencers, they incentivize them in various ways. All right. So listen, I'm Irish. I love St. Patrick's Day. I'm not even that offended by the leprechaun trap. It's just when is enough enough? I already have to do the damn elf on the shelf for weeks. Do you know what it is to wake up every day and try to find a new place to stick that thing? I'll tell you some days where I'd like to stick it. I'll leave it at that. But it's a lot, man. It's a lot. I think eventually I'm going to have to pay you, Henry, to come to the house and do something with the elf for me.
I charge quite a rate. So.
That's fine. It'd be worth it. I only have so much creative juice in this formidable melon of mine.
Fair enough.
Yeah. 855-839-1210 is the number here at the Matt Rooney Show. Again, if you want to go ahead and check us out online, it's youtube.com/@1210WPHT. A little bit of a late head start tonight because of the Temple heartbreaker, but we're going to play some ads, get our first break in now, and we'll be back with the balance of the Matt Rooney Show in just a moment.
Are you tired of dealing with those old, inefficient windows in your house? Well, maybe it's time to go Guida. How about that drafty, beat-up-looking entry door you've painted over more times than you can count? Well, go Guida. Need added protection from the elements with a new storm door? Go Guida. And what about that sliding patio door or garage door you've been meaning to replace? Go Guida. Whatever your home improvement needs are, I suggest you go Guida with the great people at Guida Door and Window. To help you get your project started, Guida is offering 20% off all windows and doors while allowing you to start your project with no money down and up to 3 full years to pay it off interest-free. That's right. Receive 20% instant savings with the luxury of paying off your project interest-free for up to 36 months. Restrictions apply, offers for a limited time, so what are you waiting for? It's time you finally go Guida. Call today to schedule a free in-home estimate at 1-877-GO-GUIDA or visit them at goguida.com. That's go, GUIDA.com.
Win a 2024 BMW 740iX Drive sedan during the Race to the Finish promotion at Borgata Hotel Casino and Spa. Now through April 27th, earn entries on slots and table games for your chance at being one of 1,575 lucky winners. Plus, 2 players will win a 2024 BMW. Drawings every Saturday with grand prize drawings on March 30th and April 27th. $1,575,000 Race to the Finish. Only at Borgata. Must be 21 or over. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
At Infinity of Westchester, we believe in transparency, fairness, and above all, serving our customers with care. Whether you're looking for a brand new Infinity or a reliable pre-owned vehicle, we have something for everyone. This month, save up to $15,000 on select Infinity models. And that's not all. Every new Infinity purchase comes with 3 years free maintenance. So don't wait. Visit us in-store or online today at infinityofwestchester.com. Philly rides with us.
It's a Pennsylvania showdown when the Pirates come to town on Thursday, April 11th and Friday, April 12th, both at 6:40, Saturday, April 13th at 4:05, and Sunday, April 14th at 1:35. Order tickets now at phillies.com. There's a little something for everyone when it comes to theme nights at Citizens Bank Park. Enjoy ticket discounts, exclusive giveaways, and more. Visit phillies.com/theme nights to view the 2024 schedule and purchase tickets today.
Don't miss the Labor and Energy Show with J-Doc and Krause, brought to you by Advocacy United, this Saturday night at 6. Find out about the important issues that'll affect you. The Labor and Energy Show, Saturday night at 6 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Pain in your knees, shoulders, hips, or back that won't go away? Check out QC Kinetics. No surgery, drugs, or downtime. QC Kinetics, 215-999-3000.
At California Psychics, we know that nagging doubts like, how much will a psychic cost? And how will I find the right one? Can stop you from getting the guidance you need. That's why we offer the best psychics at the best value. California Psychics have a wide range of psychics available 24/7, so you can find the one that meets your needs and your budget. If you can't decide, our dedicated customer service team are always available to guide you. Right now, new customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. And what do you know? Most of our customers get everything they need from a reading within that time. Our psychics may surprise you with their ability to offer unique insight on your life situation. In fact, we guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. So, there's never been a better time to take the next step. Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com and experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
For a limited time, when you call Oliver for a new air conditioner, you'll get a gas furnace for free. You heard right. Buy a new high-efficiency air conditioner today, and the gas furnace is free. Plus 0% financing and monthly payments as low as $99. Call 855-275-6548 or visit OliverHeatCool.com. Oliver Heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical. Reliable, fast service you've come to trust for more than 50 years.
Financing and payments are subject to credit approval. Terms and conditions apply.
When it comes to your home or business, Bradford White knows hot water is not optional. It's essential each and every day. That's why Bradford White makes water heaters that are built to be the best. With innovative features like our exclusive microban antimicrobial technology that helps protect and keep the tank clean and extends the life of the water heater for top performance 24/7. How you heat your water matters, so choose the proven reliability of Bradford White. Learn more at bradfordwhite.com.
Hey, Audubon. Tell your smart speaker to play 1210 WPHT. WPHT.
I hope at some point tonight, Henry, you're going to play some Irish tunes, and I'm gonna be a little bit more of a St. Patty's Day curmudgeon here. Dropkick Murphys doesn't count.
Well, if Dropkick Murphys doesn't count, why do the Cranberries?
It's just I'd prefer it. I think Dropkick Murphys is just overplayed.
I agree.
It's overplayed.
They're
I want
great.
some traditional stuff. Good Irish music is old men drunk singing in a bar, right? About how rough life is. It's like the Dubliners, right? Like that's what you want on St. Patrick's Day.
Well,
That or pipes.
But this isn't good enough.
It's okay.
It's about war in Ireland.
Yeah, but it's kind of not.
This is all they play over there, apparently.
It's not weepy enough.
What do you mean it's not weepy enough?
It's not weepy enough. In your head, zombie.
See, it tied in perfectly what we were talking about.
You're indefensible. I want some Dubliners next hour.
All right.
And no U2.
Oh, well, what are you
I cannot
you're handicapping
stand
me here.
U2.
How many Irish bands are there?
That's not my problem, Henry. Figure it out.
Because I'm playing a lot of Cranberries.
855-839-1210 is the number here on the Matt Rooney Show. Over on YouTube, youtube.com/@1210WPHT. Mangle Mush agrees with me, by the way, over in the comments on the YouTube page. Yes, no, U2. One of the worst things about having an iPhone is that they come preloaded with U2 music. So
Yeah.
unless you manually go in there and delete it, which I finally decided to do, every time it syncs with the Bluetooth in my car is U2.
Is it still? Is that album? Is that still like downloaded everywhere? Like the one that? Do you remember?
Mine's a little older. This is an 11.
Okay.
I haven't gotten a new
Well, this
iPhone
was
in a
like-
few years.
It was like a decade ago. Do you remember that? And like U2 dropped an album, but it was automatically downloaded onto every Apple user's
Yes.
iPod or Is that still the case? Is, like, is that
Maybe.
what's coming up for you?
I don't know, but it's horrible. Like, it's not Sunday Bloody Sunday, back to the whole Irish violence darkness theme. Oh, it's decent, right?
Okay.
But everything else from them is nails on a chalkboard.
You know, like Beautiful Day?
It's a beautiful day, a nice day. It makes me have a not beautiful day, Henry.
Okay.
It's such a terrible song.
Wow. I know a lot of people don't like you too.
I hate you too.
What is it? Is it Bono? Is it?
No, I don't have anything against Bono personally. I'm sure he's a lovely bloke. I know he goes around and he gives lots of money to nice causes. He's kind of a more haggard-looking Princess Diana. He has the cause de celeb. Let me go. Here's money to clean up landmines. Here's some money for starving children. That's beautiful, wonderful. I hope he has a beautiful day on St. Patrick's Day. But his music is horrendous. I think I'm like many annoying people, insofar as if something is very popular and I do not understand what's so great about it, I react viscerally to it.
Clearly.
Yes. It's one of my few faults, Henry. I don't have many, but that's one of them.
I'll have to keep like a chart of things like that you just go against the grain for.
I just go against the grain. It's what I do. And I'm not putting on an act. I'm just genuinely this much of a pain in the rear end, folks. Someone else is getting on me, Russ Notna, over in the YouTube comments saying, you don't like kids' happiness or fun, ? I think that's a reaction to me saying that the rise of leprechaun traps and Elf on the Shelf and everything is a burden for parents.
I would imagine, yeah.
Yeah, I love fun, right? 3 hours every Sunday here on the show. I mean, how much fun is this program every week? It's too much fun. Henry, every week when we leave this booth, says to me, Matt, that was so much fun. I couldn't do it for another 5 minutes. I'm about ready to explode with happiness. It's an exact quote every Sunday around 10:05. And I say, easy there, kid. And I give him like a little paternal pat on the back. So I don't know what else you want, like it's annoying, right? I mean, I love my kids. I enjoy it in the moment, but I mean, what's next? That's what I want to know. I mean, are we going to have, Uncle Sam shows up on the 4th of July and put some fireworks in their stocking along with some Jim Beam? Like what?
That'd be nice.
I mean, I would like that for me, but my kid's not going to do that for me. I don't know. I'm just saying, Henry, there's lots of things I'm just saying. We're coming up on a break here in a moment, so I may save this one for a little bit later. I've got a lot of good Joe Biden stuff in the stack tonight. And, clearly one of the major issues in election 2024 is that Joe Biden is degrading both mentally and physically. Apparently now the president has a new orthopedic shoe. Have you heard about this? Do we have the clip? I think we have time to play the clip, Henry. This is cut. I don't know. I don't want to do numbers today. Somebody else do math. It's 5.
5, yeah.
Cinco. Cut cinco for our bilingual
observers
listeners.
Couldn't help but notice his footwear. Are those sneakers? Yep, they're so-called lifestyle sneakers made by Hoka, designed for maximum comfort and support while walking or hiking.
And here they are, the Joe Biden sneaker. They're made by Hoka. These are called the Hoka Transport, and as you can see, they look quite comfortable. They have a wide sole, no doubt great for stability, and the president does have a history of stumbling.
Many observers couldn't help but notice.
He's got an orthopedic shoe. And not because he's got flat feet, right? Joe Biden, let's put this in real terms for everyone, even though you know what I'm about to tell you. I'm still going to frame it for you all the same. We're about 6-7 months to election day, Henry? He just clinched the nomination. He's down in the polls. He's tied in some of them, which, as we've talked about ad nauseum in this program, is really a loss for a Democrat 9 times out of 10 in the modern age. Is the story that you want after you clinch the Democratic nomination that they had to put you in a special shoe so you stop falling every time you go up a set of stairs? Is that really where a campaign wants to be in March? It is unreal. And that was from Inside Edition, by the way, that story. That was not Daily Wire. That was not SaveJersey.com. That was not the Bongino report, right? That was from Inside Edition. When FDR was president, the media worked overtime to obscure the fact that he was in a wheelchair much of the time because of the debilitating physical conditions he suffered from. It's obviously harder to pull that off in the modern age, even if the media wants to try, but they're not really trying anymore. They're actively now creating and looking for stories about Joe Biden and his infirmity. And I wonder why that is. It's been hypothesized that perhaps they want to push him out of the race. We know they don't want Donald Trump to win, but time's rapidly running out to replace him. Is there really some thought that maybe this could still happen at the Democrat convention? I don't know. I don't know. But it's something to keep an eye on, because if nothing else, if it's getting to the point where the Biden administration itself is not even attempting, or they don't think they can conceal the fact that the president is rapidly going downhill, that means it's even worse than we can see with our plain eyes, our plain eyesight. That's my suspicion. So Joe Biden, an Irishman, an Irish American, not one we're very proud of, but not having a particularly jolly St. Patrick's Day, because the veil has now been removed. Henry, you look like you were ready to say something.
No. You said everything that could be said.
I think you wanted to say something because you positioned the microphone and your mouth was about to move.
People get that impression a lot. I always just fidget with this thing.
You're just a fidgety. You're just
honestly
fidgety little leprechaun.
If we're up to me, I'd have like a standalone mic. Like I wouldn't have it on this arm. Like I'd hold it like I'm a news reporter.
Okay. Well, can we do that?
I don't have one.
No, we probably don't have that. We probably don't have the money.
No.
We probably can't pull that off. I'll tell you what, we're coming up on a break. Let's take a break, play some ads, make some money. I'll look for one on Amazon while we're playing commercials. Back in a second, everyone.
Don't miss Dr. Marianne Ritchie, your radio doctor, Saturday afternoons at 5. Tune in for accurate information so you can make the right medical decisions. Your radio doctor, Dr. Marianne Ritchie, Saturday afternoons at 5 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Deborah Heart and Lung Center and Cleveland Clinic Heart Vascular and Thoracic Institute have formed a powerful alliance. Legends in caregiving New Jersey families, the most sophisticated heart team in America. Innovators in research and patient care who've made life better for thousands of patients, raising the standard for the next generation of care. The alliance between Deborah Heart and Lung Center and Cleveland Clinic Heart Vascular and Thoracic Institute means the highest quality care close to home for you. DemandDeborah.org.
Thinking about popping the question? Springtime is the perfect time to show that special person in your life how much you care. When you show them that beautiful cozy diamond, they won't have any doubts thanks to Cozy's 5 C's. Color, cut, clarity, carat, and the cozy touch. All that adds up to an unforgettable moment. And an engagement ring from Cozy Jewelers is the only way to improve on a perfect spring day. So head to Cozy Jewelers in Newtown Square for all your jewelry needs. Or shop online at CozyJewelers.com.
Spring is here. Get ahead of summer pricing and availability. Call CNC Heating and Air Conditioning, your local Lennox dealers. Family owned and operated, serving Montgomery and Bucks counties for over 50 years. With 24/7 service and trained technicians, CNC will make sure your system is running efficiently before you get stuck without cooling on blistering hot days coming up. 0% financing options are available. Schedule an estimate today at cc-hvac.com.
This is Larry Sinus with Investor Schooling. You may know me from my book, Money Hacks. You may know me from my radio shows, and you may even know me from some of these commercials. But listen, I'm teaching stuff that people need to learn about money. In fact, my favorite topic is money. So go to investorschooling.com and you will learn things about money that you never even knew existed. We will teach you things about real estate, about the stock market, and about how to use your IRAs properly. Go to investorschooling.com and sign up for a complimentary class this Thursday night at 7 o'clock. That's investorschooling.com. This is Larry Sinus with Investor Schooling. Are you tired of hearing about the recession that's coming? Are you prepared for it? Well, listen, at investorschooling.com, we're going to teach you ways to prepare for the recession that you didn't even know existed. We're going to teach you strategies on how to use real estate. We're going to teach you strategies how to use the stock market properly. That's right, you can even make money in the stock market when the stock market goes down. Hey, go to investorschooling.com and register for a free class this Thursday night, and you will learn all of these techniques. Go to investorschooling.com right now, RSVP for this Thursday. We'll see you there.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-700-6898. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-700-6898, 800-700-6898, or biglou.com.
Molly Malloy's Kitchen and Bar is located at Center Court in the historic Reading Terminal Market. Featuring a private bar, diner seating, and a great view of the market scene. Molly Malloy's uses fresh ingredients, like produce from the Iovine brothers, along with other market vendors. Rib cheesesteaks made with center-cut ribeye on seeded Sarcones rolls, fresh biscuits made for breakfast sandwiches, or 35 beers, ciders, and Prosecco on tap. Molly Malloy's in the Reading Terminal Market has a little something for everyone. Go to mollymaloysphilly.com.
Don't miss the Education Show with Dom Giordano every Sunday morning at 5:30. Find out how you can help your child or grandchild succeed. Sponsored by New Hope Academy.
Don't miss Good News in Real Estate with Deanne Katsaros and Mark Cumberland, Saturdays at 1 p.m. Find out all you need to know about home buying and selling. Considering a career in real estate? Visit PhiladelphiaRealEstateClasses.com. Good News in Real Estate, Saturdays 1 p.m. on WPHT.
I occasionally have nerve discomfort in my hands, so the things I love to do
Let's play something, Grandma.
became difficult as I got older.
If you have occasional stabbing and burning in your hands and feet, try Nervive Nerve Relief. Nervive's clinically studied dose of alpha-lipoic acid reduces occasional nerve discomfort in as little as 7 days with continued daily use. Say yes to healthy nerves with Nervive Nerve Relief. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent.
Be sure to follow Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
Here's your preview for hour number 2 of the Matt Rooney Show coming up here in just a moment. We're going to talk about Phil Murphy's whitewash COVID post-mortem report. The Bible, guys, over there in the producing booth, about 1,200 pages, depending upon which version we're talking about. Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, 870 pages. The Quran, 604. Murphy's COVID report, 910 pages.
Sheesh.
More than Harry Potter, longer than the Quran, longer than Return of the King, only 320 pages. You'd never know it, given how long Peter Jackson's movie was.
It's longer than Dune.
Longer than Dune. And it's garbage. $9 million, 910 pages, a steaming pile of horse dookie.
That's more than War and Peace.
Yes.
Well, it's safe to say that Phil Murphy and his cronies don't have the same prose as, say, Frank Herbert or Tolkien.
No, yeah, I mean, we would have been better off if they had worked some wizards and some hobbits into the whole thing, rather than the junk that made it in there. We're gonna revisit this more in the second hour when State Senator Jersey Joe Panaccio joins us here on the Matt Rooney Show. 855-839-1210 is the number over on YouTube. It's a lively bunch tonight. full of blarney over there on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/@1210WPHT. I am Matt Rooney. This is the Matt Rooney Show, back with our St. Patty's Day edition in just a moment. Don't move a muscle.
Fraudulent tax returns due to identity theft increased by 30% in 2023. If you're in a bind this tax season, LifeLock can help. Their U.S.-based restoration specialists are dedicated to helping solve identity theft issues, and all plans are backed by the $1 Million Protection Package, which means if you lose money because of identity theft, LifeLock will reimburse you up to the limits of your plan. Help protect your information with LifeLock. Go to LifeLock.com and save up to 25% your first year with my name, Clay, as your promo code.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. You've been hearing me talk about Rescue Supplements for years. Well, Rescue Natural Supplements has launched a free personalized health survey that prioritizes all of your health goals. Whether you've been taking Rescue products for years or don't know where to start, in just 5 minutes, discover tailored Rescue supplements that will fill the gaps in your nutritional needs. That means no more guessing on products at the store, ignoring these issues altogether. The best part? Right now, you get a whopping 50% off recommended products after completing the survey. To get started, go to res-q.life. Again, that's res-q.life. Or call 800-26-ALIVE, 800-262-5483. Get help from a knowledgeable Rescue product consultant. I took the short survey. Let me tell you, I was blown away to see my results. So don't wait. Visit res-q.life and get 50% off recommended products today.
Comedian Joe Conklin.
These changes for the Phillies. Never again will I utter the words. Now pitching for the Phillies, Craig Kimbrough.
See Joe Conklin's comedy show at the Church of the Incarnation on Main Street in Mantua Township, Saturday, April 20th at St. Luke's Church on Easton Road in Glenside on Saturday, April 27th. And Conklin's Comedy Night every other Thursday at Parks Casino. For tickets, go to joeconklin.com.
JoeConklin.com! Hey, neighbor, what you doing?
Just getting the groundwork done to put up my new fence.
Oh, cool. Did you contact Pennsylvania One call system to check the underground utilities first?
Nah, there's nothing but dirt back here. Oh, no.
Whoa, I think that's a water main. Yeah, well, you said you always wanted a pool. All joking aside, you should call Pennsylvania One Call.
You're right. I'm going to call Pennsylvania One Call. But first, cannonball!
Know what's below. Contact 811 before you dig or visit pa1call.org to submit a locate request to have underground utilities marked.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for up to half the cost. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Savings based on cost of Consumer Cellular single line 1, 5, and 10 gig data plans with unlimited talk and text compared to lowest cost single line postpaid unlimited talk, text, and data plans offered by T-Mobile and Verizon January 2024.
Do you feel like you're going through life clouded by doubt? Talk to California Psychics. Our trusted and accurate psychics are available 24/7, and we guarantee if it's not life-changing, it's free. Download the app or connect with us at CaliforniaPsychics.com. Right now, new customers get 80% off their first reading. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
WPHT, WPHT-HD, WOGL HD3 Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app. Live and local with Matt Rooney on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
I wish I wasn't Carrickfergus, Kirk, but I'm not. I'm on the banks of the Schuylkill at Odyssey Studios doing the Matt Rooney Show once again. 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard. on 1210 WPHT. I'm just kidding, of course. As much as I do love the Emerald Isle, there's nowhere I'd rather be than with all of you every Sunday night where we can talk about the week gone by and in doing so prepare you for the week ahead as we march ever closer to election 2024. The big one. You may have heard. It's kind of consequential, right? Joe Biden in one corner, Donald Trump in the other. This week, the presidential primary phase officially ended, both men clinching the nominations of their respective parties. It's on. The rematch, Kirk, the end-all rematches.
Ding, ding.
I'll tell you what, remember like years ago, it's not as big a thing anymore, right? Because of the way that we've changed how this stuff is broadcast, but you would beg your parents to buy the pay-per-view for the fight or for the wrestling match or whatever the heck it was.
Oh, yeah,
this would be the pay-per-view to end all pay-per-views. They'd come to the ring, entrance music. What do you mean no?
Yeah. I think this is the rematch nobody wanted.
That's true. I agree with you 100% on that. I agree with you on that.
See, it's not just because I'm disagreeable and unlikable. I actually genuinely disagree with you guys on this.
Okay.
Everyone says they don't want it. Then why do we have it? Seriously.
I don't know.
Right?
I genuinely couldn't tell you.
If there was a genuine desire among the adult population of this country for something else, we'd have it. But we don't. People don't like to admit in polite company, for example, that they love Donald Trump. Now, many members of our audience aren't afraid to do so, but plenty of people out there in the general population are. But there are many people in 2024 that feel the same way about Donald Trump the majority of the population did back in 2016, which is that he says what you're thinking, even if you're afraid to do so. And there's plenty of leftists who are genuinely happy with Joe Biden because he is a far left president pursuing a far left agenda. Some of them want him to go harder and faster to the left. Harder and faster are not two things that Joe Biden excels at, whether we're talking about policy or just moving down the street under his own power.
I don't know. Those shoes.
Those are they called? Are they called Hawks?
Yeah, I'd never heard of that company before.
Yeah, in case you missed it, in the first hour, we talked about this Insider Edition report. That's, by the way, where we are in politics in 2024. We're citing Insider Edition for political breaking news,
about
right?
the guy's shoes.
About the guy's shoes, yes. But that's where Joe Biden has brought us. So I guess they're called, let's see, and I apologize to the good people at Hawks if I'm mispronouncing this, but it's a special kind of shoe. I guess it's primarily designed not for the elderly. Right. It's if you're hiking, if you're traversing difficult terrain and you want to make sure you have foot stability.
Yeah, like stairs.
Well, for Joe Biden, yes. Well, there was also another story recently. Not only is he now wearing this special footwear, they're now stationing a Secret Service agent right at the bottom of the stairwell. I do the same thing when one of my young children is going up the stairs to make sure they don't fall. They're now doing that for Joe Biden.
They need one of those gates, like those baby gates at the bottom.
They need a toddler gate for Joe Biden. Yes, absolutely. That's where we are. But this is the guy we need, I guess, to prosecute a war in Ukraine, to stand up to terrorists overseas, to act as a stopgap against tyranny across the globe. I mean, come on. Every day, the more and more we hear from Joe Biden, hear about Joe Biden, see Joe Biden, American weakness is projected a little bit further, a little bit stronger across the world. And it's not good. It's not good for our brand, right? America has been successful over the course of the past century because we've had a very strong brand. Joe Biden is actively destroying that brand. And America and our freedom and our security is safeguarded in part, not just by our brave men and women in uniform, right? But also because people have wanted to be us. They see the American example and it's something they want to emulate. There's nothing in Joe Biden or Joe Biden's America that anyone wants to click and paste and copy in their corner of this planet. It's very bad. It's very, very, very bad. It's hard to understate how terrible it is. And of course, we'll have some more examples tonight on the Matt Rooney Show, along with State Senator Joe Panaccio, who joins us in about 21 minutes to talk about Phil Murphy's post-mortem covert report. Speaking of Ukraine, right? St. Patrick's Day, but let's talk about Eastern Europe here for just a second. Incredible admission by John Kirby on the Sunday shows this week. He visited this week, and you know that one of Joe Biden's leading campaign talking points has been that somehow it's Republicans' fault that he can't function as a president. He can't close the border, for example, even though he has all the power to do so. He issued executive orders to try to forgive student loans, which he didn't have the power to do, but somehow he can't secure the border. He also is complaining that it's Republicans' fault that Ukraine is losing the war to Russia, even though we know the tide was turning against the Ukrainians before the current debate over additional fundings. We've already sent, $100 billion over to Ukraine in order to allegedly assist them with repulsing the Russian invasion. John Kirby went on this week, and he was asked point blank on the ABC program, do you worry at all about our readiness as we give all these weapons to
Do you worry
Ukraine?
at all about our own readiness as we give weapons to Ukraine? Has that been an issue?
Oh, of course. But since the beginning of the war, we've had to, with every package we provided, we've got to make a certification that it's not going to damage our own national security. And as we have given more and depleted our inventories, we have been doing everything we can to work with the defense industry to restock, to replenish. That's what this replenishment authority, why that's so important. So yes, it's a concern. We haven't reached a point yet where our own national security and our own operational plans have been jeopardized. But it's absolutely something you can't ever take your eye off.
You can't take your eye off it. I mean, isn't this the crux of the debate? One of the things that's frustrating about the time in which we live, and I know many of you will agree with me, is sometimes the nuance in a debate gets lost in the social media maelstrom, right? If you were to just look at Facebook or the Drudge Report or some conservative news site that collects various articles from across the internet, you would think there are only two sides. People that allegedly believe that Putin's not so bad and arguably better than our own American government. And then on the other side, people think that, anything short of us putting American boots on the ground in Ukraine is the absolute least we can do to resist the autocrat in the Kremlin. I think there are many people that don't fall neatly into either camp. I'm one of them. For example, I think that there's an argument to be made to help out another country, enemy of my enemies, my friend, make life difficult for Putin, who is an ally of China, or China, as President Trump would say, 45 and future 47. I get that. It tracks with me logically. But dumping a endless sum of money into this conflict with seemingly very few safeguards and very little of an idea in Washington, D.C. as to what the end point is here, what our goal is, other than trying to accumulate ever greater numbers of dead Russians. It's not really tracking for me in that regard anymore. And there's some evidence that the Russian economy is rebounding, that in some ways we are pushing Russia further into the arms of China, that we may be encouraging them and encouraging directly the development of alternative supply lines, which are immune to American influence. It's not so neatly playing out as the Biden administration would have you believe. And then there's this report over on Real Clear Politics. I want you to check it out. It's by Philip Wegman. Unclear, this is the title of the article, unclear if Pentagon tracking reports of misused aid in Ukraine. You just heard John Kirby a minute ago suggest that they are tracking this stuff. I don't believe John Kirby. I know it'll shock you to know. Here's Mr. Wegman. While the Pentagon has assured Congress that no U.S. military equipment sent to Ukraine has been diverted, stolen, or otherwise misappropriated, a new report from the Government Accountability Office, the GAO, could not determine if the Department of Defense was tracking allegations of misuse 2 years into the conflict. If you never look, you will never find. A source familiar with how the report was compiled said of the worst case possibility that aid was being misappropriated. The report comes as President Biden struggles to keep supply lines open to Ukraine, although a majority of Congress supports sending further aid to help hold back the Russian onslaught, and the Senate passed a bipartisan aid package late last month. House Republicans have yet to approve the latest round of now stalled military assistance. I wonder why. I wonder why House Republicans are reluctant. I wonder why yours truly, right, sitting here on this program, someone who, again, I believe that for American influence to continue around the globe, not only in our own best interest, but in the best interest of free people everywhere, it's a good thing for us to help push back against tyranny where it exists. But I'm not going to do it at the expense of our own country's ability to defend itself. And then you have a direct contradiction. You have John Kirby, a leading voice in the Biden administration, kind of sort of admitting that they're worried about what our help for Ukraine is doing to our ability to defend the homeland back here in the good old US of A, but stopping short of admitting what we know from this GAO report, which is that we are making ourselves vulnerable without much to show for it in terms of how that conflict is playing out. So I guess the point that I'd like to make in this is that the next time you are hanging out with one of your lefty family members that has the Ukraine flag in their Facebook profile, maybe they have it on the back of their car next to the little stick figure family, mom, dad, dog, trans hedgehog, these things you see as you're driving around, Henry, on the back of somebody's vehicle, usually a minivan or some type of SUV.
A nice coexist sticker.
The little coexist sticker. That's right. That's one of my all-time favorites, right? My kid is an honor student.
Ugh. There's one. I think it's like my kid is like an NSHAA scholar or something.
I don't
even know what that is, because I used to get those too, and I'm like, I don't even know how I got this. I don't even know what this is supposed to be.
Henry wants to know if it was a mistake.
I know it wasn't, because I had some solid grades back in the day, but it was like, what organization is this, and why are they sending me bumper stickers?
From where did this come?
Yeah.
From whence has it come?
And I see them all the time, and I'm like,
yeah, I don't know. But the bottom line is this: the next time one of these people in your life challenges you on Ukraine, say what's not being said out there. I think that's one of the keys to success in this environment, this political environment in which we're all living right now. Just don't repeat the talking points. Drill down on what's relevant here. Okay, you want to help Ukraine. Is the aid actually helping Ukraine? That's the question no one's asking. Everybody's talking about, should we send it? Should we not send it? Is it actually doing anything? And contrary to what some self-interested actors are saying inside the Beltway, there's plenty of evidence that it's not, or at least it's not being done well. I have an idea of maybe a way that we could do better, but it involves changing presidents in November. I suspect you agree with me. 855-839-1210 is the number. Again, over on YouTube, youtube.com/@1210WPHT. Get in on the discussion. We have a lively one tonight happening over on the interwebs. We've got some crazy folks that listen to this program, and I say that in a complimentary way. I love each and every one of them. They always have something snarky, salty, always sarcastic to say over in the YouTube comments. It's why sometimes Henry says, do you want to do the stream tonight? I said, absolutely. I wouldn't want to do this without those loons. I don't know why they want to look at me. I suspect it's because they want to confirm that I am indeed as handsome as I sound, Henry. So that's why I'm okay with it.
That's one theory.
Among many.
Cut Kirk's microphone. Damn it, Kirk.
I'm not silencing anybody.
That's right, because we're a free speech station, right? I know so because I've heard it in our promos. So it must be true, right? In Stocker, we trust. All others pay cash. Let's take a break as we celebrate our First Amendment freedoms here on 1210 WPHT. Play some ads, and we'll be back with more from the Matt Rooney Show in a moment.
I'm Benjamin F. Chavis Jr. with the good news brought to you by BetterHelp. The functionality of a nation's ports is a key measure of global business efficiencies and profitability. The good news is the Biden-Harris administration and the Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, have now provided a $3 billion Clean Ports Initiative that will enable American ports to acquire environmental efficiencies. What's the first thing you'll do if you have more time in the day? Nap, read, talk with a friend? Knowing what's important to you is easy to fit it into your schedule. Therapy can help you figure that out. BetterHelp offers affordable online therapy. Start the process in minutes and switch therapists anytime. Visit BetterHelp, HELP.com/good news to get 10% off of your first month. That's the good news. I'm Benjamin F. Chavis Jr. on the USBC Network, brought to you by BetterHelp.
Hi, Dawn Stensland here. You've heard me talk about my friends from Piazza Premium Automobiles. They continue to grow their luxury collection of brands. And now Piazza is excited to welcome Infiniti Ardmore and Maserati of the main line, both located right there on Lancaster Avenue. And you're going to receive the very same first-class customer experience that you've come to expect. Find your new or certified pre-owned Infiniti, Maserati, or other Piazza luxury brands like Jaguar, Land Rover, Mercedes-Benz, BMW, and more at Piazza Premium Auto.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for up to half the cost. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up! And call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Savings based on cost of Consumer Cellular single line 1, 5, and 10 gig data plans with unlimited talk and text compared to lowest cost single line postpaid unlimited talk, text, and data plans offered by T-Mobile and Verizon January 2024.
Do you feel like you're going through life clouded by doubt? Talk to California Psychics. Our trusted and accurate psychics are available 24/7. And we guarantee if it's not life-changing, it's free. Download the app or connect with us at CaliforniaPsychics.com. Right now, new customers get 80% off their first reading. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Pain in your knees, shoulders, hips, or back that won't go away? Check out QC Kinetics. No surgery, drugs, or downtime. QC Kinetics. 215-999-3000.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshare. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare. In the process, started what's now called the timeshare cancellation industry. The ugly truth is when you buy a timeshare, you can't tell me how much it's going to cost or when it's going to end. I recently helped a couple that had their maintenance fees go from $800 to $3,200 a year. They also received a $4,000 assessment for a hurricane that was over 1,000 miles away. Sound crazy? The crazy thing is this never ends. Call my office now. If we take you as a client, I guarantee we'll cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call for your free information kit. Call 800-329-2121. That's 800-329-2121. 800-329-2121.
You love your city, but let's be honest, the commute, not so much. That's where the free Odyssey app can help. Download the app and follow your local news station so you can get the latest traffic reports or find if your train is on time before you walk out your door. Knowing all this gives you time to think about the essential things like, do I have time to get coffee? Download the free Odyssey app and search your local news station. That's AUDACY.
Hey, Paoli. We know your favorite station is Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
You trying to tell me something, Henry?
Whatever do you mean?
Kirk is like, this is the longest 3 hours of my life. Between Matt just being Matt and Henry's music choices. You would never do
Actually,
this. You would never do this to Zioli.
Oh, yes, I would.
He would. And by the way, I did suggest. I'm the one that suggested
it. At 2, Kirk.
And we just passed the Ides of March.
We did just pass the Ides of March.
Exactly.
Right? 855-839-1210 is the number if you want to call in and save me from these two. Quick aside, we're now past the State of the Union address. I don't know if you listened to it. I probably got as far as Joe Biden holding up the picture of that young lady, right, who was slain by an illegal alien.
USC's football coach.
And USC's football coach. And I said, this is all I can do. I'm out. Can't do it. I know I have a kind of sort of duty to the Save Jersey audience and the 1210 audience to stay on top of this stuff. I have my limits. I'm a human being like everyone else. That's it. The worst part is when he was looking up into the balcony as if her parents were there, but they had declined an invitation to appear for, I think, perfectly understandable reasons, right? Your daughter, your beautiful daughter, murdered, right? And you are going to be paraded out as a political pawn. I get it. I wouldn't want to do it either, probably. Not that I even want to think about it. So I didn't watch it, but, plenty of other people must have felt the same way that yours truly did, because there's an article from the Washington Examiner which points out something very interesting happening in the polling. There's no bump. There's very often a State of the Union bump for obvious reasons. The president of the United States goes out there, says the state of our union is strong, and they get a free commercial for an hour and a half, technically longer if you include the pregame show and the postgame show. Nothing like that for Joe Biden this year. He gambled, I think, giving a very angry, base-oriented speech that this would rally Democrats who are starting to become concerned that their nominee in 2024, the only movement he seems capable of accomplishing is whatever bowel movements are happening in his adult diapers, right? So he had to go out there and he tried to convince them that, hey, listen, I'm a horse that you can continue to count on. Don't trade me in or switch me out midstream. Doesn't seem like it was mission accomplished, according to the Washington Examiner's examination of the latest polling. Actually, there was one survey, I don't have it in front of me, Joe Biden now reaching an all-time low for job approval with the American people. So rough times for Uncle Joe. Couldn't happen to a nicer guy. Let's check out the phone lines, which I often neglect, which I apologize for every week. I can't help it. I get distracted. But I try to do a better job. It's one of my New Year's resolutions, and it's mid-March, and I'm still working on it. Fernando from Union City, New Jersey. Welcome to the Matt Rooney Show. What's on your mind?
Matt, Fernando Uribe, your favorite conservative up here in North Jersey, brother. How are you?
Fernando, how's it going, my friend?
It's going well. I love listening. Whenever I'm home on Sunday nights getting some work done, I like to tune into your show. It's a great radio show, man, first and foremost.
So are you saying when you're trying to get work accomplished, listening to me actually helps you complete those tasks? I find that hard to believe.
Yeah, man, I'm preparing for tomorrow's show. And as I'm going through my notes, I'm like, I'm a big podcast guy, and I always make it a point when I see it on the newsfeed. I'm like, let me give Matt's show a listen, because he's always very informative and entertaining. So
well,
congrats on the show, man.
If there's anything worthwhile, my friend, feel free to plagiarize. It's all yours. I'd be flattered. What's on your mind this evening?
So, man, I gotta say, I've been going to some, it's election season, obviously, and going to different, mixers and fundraisers up here in North Jersey, and
sure.
A lot of different Republican events, and I get a lot of grief from some operatives that, as you know, whenever you've had a chance to watch my show, I blatantly go after the NJGOP. I'm very dissatisfied. It's not disgusted. I think that's a better word, man, to describe my disenchantment with the Republican Party in New Jersey. And listen, we're both conservatives, Matt. We may not be the exact type of conservatives, but, we're conservatives. And what I find really disheartening going into this year is we have 3 congressional districts that Republicans are trying to hold. Other districts that maybe could be competitive, Matt, but
right.
The NJGOP's leadership is bad. And again, people take it as like I'm trying to slander somebody. The chair. I'm not going to mention by name, but the state chair. I'm not trying to be malicious. I'm just saying, like, listen. We're both sports fans, okay? You're a big Eagle fan, I'm a big Cowboy fan. We watch games. We usually go to town on our head coaches because we don't like what play they run or
which had I
known
known it was you when you were on the line here, Henry would have never let a Cowboys fan get through on the line.
Very true.
That would have never. Like they're both looking at me right now, like they want to kill me.
Well, we've been friends for a long time, so our banter's always been great. With our NFL teams, but. It just seems, though, Matt, like when I look at what the NJGOP is not doing this election cycle, we have a district up here by me, with in CD7 where, I like the incumbent. I've met him. He's a pain in the ass to get on the air on the show schedule. I'm sure you're aware of. But it bothers me because it's a district he barely won 2 years ago, and you got a Democrat challenger who's nuts. And we both know who I'm referring to in CD7. And then we have other districts where there's not even a Republican candidate declared. And I'm thinking to myself, what message does this send, though, Matt, to conservatives when the NJGOP, and I get all the nonsense they had to cut down.
I don't know if you know this, but they have their summit in Atlantic City every year in March. And ever since they started it, I was invited to go down and participate. We did a live stream. And then the last couple of years, they did a radio panel, which featured not only yours truly, but we had Harry Hurley, who's on the radio down in the Atlantic County area. We had Rich Zioli and Dom Giordano from this station, and they discontinued it this year. And it was disappointing. None of us were being paid to go down there. I joked with Dom Giordano earlier this week. Maybe he got my check by mistake. Maybe that's the part that I'm missing that got lost in translation. But we went because we care about conservatives doing well in the Delaware Valley, and that includes New Jersey. But this year, the invitation was off the table. So I don't know whether that says something about the direction of the NJGOP in New Jersey. If it does, it's probably not anything that we could consider promising as people that want to see Republicans do well in the Garden State. But we'll keep trying. Coming up against a hard break, though, my friend, call in anytime. Whether you're doing prep or not, you're always welcome on the Matt Rooney Show. Maybe we'll have you on sometime to talk about New Jersey politics as well. One of my favorite topics.
God bless you, man. And by the way, let's go Cowboys, all right? I'll talk to you soon.
All right, dump him. That's enough. I love Fernando, but that's a bridge too far, bringing up the Cowboys on this station.
Yeah, what are we doing here?
Oh, he's going to get a strongly worded letter from me.
At least they're losing the offseason.
Yeah,
so,
that's right. That's right. The memes are great, by the way.
100%.
Coming up on a break, as I said, when we return, the one, the only Jersey Joe Panaccio to break down the latest outrage from the Murphy regime in Trenton. You're not going to want to miss this big COVID news here on the Matt Rooney Show.
Hello, America. It's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you don't have Consumer Cellular yet, now is the perfect time to switch and save. For a limited time, new customers can get wireless service for as low as $15 a month for your first year. Yep, the same exact nationwide coverage as the leading carriers for $15 a month for an entire year. What are you waiting for? Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com and use code RADIO15.
See consumercellular.com/firstyear15 for promotional details.
If you want jazz music, go to New Orleans. Bagels, New York. And for psychics, think California Psychics. You want the best, you go to the best. At California Psychics, home of free spirits and open minds, we know better than anyone what makes a good psychic. That's why we guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com and experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Hey, Joe DeCamera here. Stop chasing that rainbow. United Tire and Service has a pot of gold waiting for you. Now through April 2nd, all tires are on sale. Plus, get an extra savings of $80 on any Michelin tires and an instant $40 from United Tire. That's $120 in savings on all Michelin tires. You don't even need to wear green. So skip or drive into St. Patrick's Day savings at one of your 10 locally owned United Tire locations or go to UnitedTire.com. That's UnitedTire.com consumercellular.com. Don't drive alone. Drive United.
At Consumer Cellular, you get the same exact coverage as the largest carriers, but for up to half the cost. Same thing, up to half the cost. Up to half the cost for the same thing. 50% the money for 100% the same thing. I hope I'm making myself clear. Consumer Cellular. When freedom calls, we're here to answer. Call us at 1-888-FREEDOM.
Half the cost savings based on cost of Consumer Cellular single-line 5GB data plan with unlimited talk and text compared to lowest cost single-line postpaid unlimited talk, text, and data plan offered by T-Mobile and Verizon May 2023.
As an educator, Mr. Nelson's teachings are still being quoted in schools.
Education is the most powerful weapon you can use to change the world.
Mr. Nelson taught hope.
Everyone can rise above their circumstances if they are dedicated and passionate.
And giving our best efforts.
It's always impossible until it's done.
Mr. Nelson Mandela's teachings not only united a nation, they inspire us today. Inspiration. Pass it on from passiton.com.
My father taught me never put yourself in a situation where you have to say you're sorry. Great advice, right? So why do you only have one key to your car? Seriously, don't wait until you're apologizing to your wife or husband, or even worse, your boss, because you lost your keys. Save yourself that headache. Head to McCausland Lock Service and get yourself a spare. You're supporting small business when you do and saving up to half of what you'd pay at a dealer. Call McCausland Lock Service for a quote today. 610-430-1500. 610-430-1500.
As an educator, Mr. Nelson's teachings are still being quoted in schools.
Education is the most powerful weapon you can use to change the world.
Mr. Nelson taught hope.
Everyone can rise above their circumstances if they are dedicated and passionate.
And giving our best efforts.
It's always impossible until it's done.
Mr. Nelson Mandela's teachings not only united a nation, they inspire us today. Inspiration. Pass it on from passiton.com.
Free speech lives here, on the air, and on the Odyssey app. Talk Radio 1210. WPHT.
We don't have to look for trouble on the Matt Rooney Show. It finds us, Henry and Kirk. Just the way it goes.
We're back.
I haven't heard this one in a while. It's a goodie.
I love this one.
Yeah. The opening is great.
Yeah.
Yeah. It kind of, I'm sure there's a more sophisticated musical term for it,
Sure.
but I like how it builds.
Yes.
In the beginning. It's not a crescendo because that would be at the end. We got to Google that on the interwebs.
Yeah.
And see if we can figure out what that is.
You're talking to the wrong person.
Yeah, or somebody
Likewise.
over on the YouTube page, right? YouTube.com/@1210WPHD. If you know what that's called or if there is a word for it, let me know. Lively crew as usual. Shout out to Andrea, who said, "Hey Matt, at least that cheesy photo is gone from Odyssey." That is correct. They had a very bad photo of me before over on the station page. Now they have a slightly less bad photo of me on the station page. So that's huge. We are making serious progress.
Yeah, it's been a big year. I mean, you finally got a badge to get in the building.
Yes, kind of, sort of.
Kind of.
Yeah.
It's kind of like one of those escape rooms, right? Where you're trying to get from one room to another. I now have access to certain areas. Like I can now use the bathroom under my own power. I don't need. I was like Red from Shawshank Redemption, where he has to ask his boss permission to go to the bathroom. That's me talking to Henry, like, "Hey, can I have a pass? To go to the bathroom, please." I'm now past that. That's huge.
Now the picture is gone from website. So baby steps.
Baby steps. Yeah, we're thinking maybe in a couple more years, if we don't get canceled, I might even have like a mug with my name on it or something like that.
Fingers crossed.
Shoot for the stars.
American dream, baby. The American dream, right? Back to, and by the way, thank you, Andrea. I appreciate it. I have a brittle ego, so all the positive commentary, absolutely welcome. Let's get down to business, though. Tonight's guest, he is one of the few legislators in Blue Jersey who is always willing to pick a fight, and it's usually the right fight. And Joe Panaccio, who is a state senator representing New Jersey's 26th district, was one of those leaders in the state back when even a lot of Republicans during the earlier stages of the pandemic were just letting Phil Murphy and other bad actors in the deep state just run roughshod over the rest of us, and they were posting hand washing advice, right? Joe Panaccio was one of the few that was asking serious questions. And unfortunately, much of what Senator Joe and yours truly and some others were warning about at the time came to pass. He was an early voice speaking out on behalf of those in long-term facilities who sadly became the ultimate casualty of government incompetence and corruption during the pandemic. Now, I mentioned earlier in the program, Phil Murphy is out with a 910-page independent report. I'm doing air quotes for those of you not watching on the YouTube page, although it was paid for with about $9 million of taxpayer cash. Senator Joe Panaccio is now out with an 8-page report, which says far more about what we were subjected to than all 910 pages of what Phil Murphy had a law firm belch out. He joins us tonight on the program to walk us through his rebuttal. Senator Joe Panaccio, welcome back to the Matt Rooney Show. Thanks for joining us, sir.
Well, thanks for having me on, Matt.
I'm doing great. We really appreciate you joining us. Let me ask you one thing right from the onset here. How long did it take you? And you're an intelligent guy. You're a dentist, educated man. How long did it take you to get through 910 pages of dribble?
Well, it took me about 3 days. It came out on Monday. I finally finished because I took that work home with me on Wednesday night. But in fairness, it wasn't really 900 pages worth of reading. The first couple of 100 pages were basically just charts and graphs that no doubt the law firm just cut and pasted from CDC and other national or state health organizations. So we can knock off 200 pages there, and the other back with about 100 pages worth of footnotes. But regardless, if it's 900 pages, you had mentioned $9 million, even with the footnotes and the graphs that they plagiarized, you're still looking at $10,000 a page, man.
Right, which if I, as a lawyer, could get paid $10,000 a page, I certainly wouldn't be here on Sunday nights hanging out with Henry and Kirk. I can tell you that much, right? I'd probably be well on my way to retirement at age 39. So I did something wrong, Senator, when I was shopping for a job. I should have thought this out a little bit better. But as I said, you were able to summarize, I think, what are the important points in analyzing this report in just 8 pages. Can you tell us some of your more important findings from sifting through this thing?
Well, one thing that was particularly glaring, and I think that the law firm of McCracken should get cracking and start talking to Murphy about it. It was Facebook showing that only 9,200 people died in nursing homes over those periods of years from 2020 to 2023, I believe. And the report says that 16,000 people died during that period. So I always thought it was about 10 or 12 because I don't know if you remember, May of 2020, they actually reduced the amount by a couple of thousand in the state because they said they couldn't really say that they died of COVID, even though they were dying in the nursing home because the COVID test really hadn't come out yet. Anyway, so that's very, very glaring. Some other things that just jump at you is, look, we knew right from the very get-go, and they even mentioned it, that the elderly, the frail in nursing homes would be most affected. When it first came out, the report mentioned, but we've mentioned it all the time, that the first casualties were elderly and frail in nursing homes in Washington state. And if you took a look I remember Italy, the bodies were falling, they were all over age 80. So we knew the population that would be affected. And yet they insisted on a memorandum, which is exactly almost cut and pasted out of New York's memorandum, word for word, except the memorandum said that they must let people from hospitals in, regardless whether they had COVID or not, and New Jersey actually forbid any testing. That doesn't make any sense. How do you forbid testing? How do you not know what you're letting into that nursing home? And it was mentioned, and we had mentioned it during a conversation with a bunch of administrators, and they were outed because somebody secretly recorded this. I don't know if you remember that. The commissioner was told, if you do this, people are going to die.
Right.
And people died. So no surprises there.
They knew people were going to die. They didn't seem to care very much. And now, and I just want to emphasize something that you talked about here a minute ago, because I don't want it to be lost on people. We now have 4 years after this thing started, an upward revision of what the state is recognizing as the death toll in long-term care facilities. Somewhere between a 4,000 and 7,000 person upward revision. These are mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters, grandparents, in many cases, veterans of the United States military who served this country overseas. They survived foreign wars, Senator, but they couldn't survive Phil Murphy's pathetic decision-making during the COVID-19 pandemic. It's so angering, Senator. And up until this point, we know the legislature, despite your best attempts to prod them in the right direction, has avoided delving into what they were complicit with, which is actually investigating Phil Murphy and his response and exercising their oversight authority. Have you heard any rumblings from your colleagues in the legislature after Murphy's report was released?
You will never hear rumblings from my fellow legislators, from the Democrats who control the whole wall of wax. They circle their wagons for this governor, and they own it. If there's blood on people's hands, they should take a look at their hands, because I believe there's blood on their hands as well. Why is this important, Matt? This is not going to be the last emergency that we're going to be talking about in New Jersey. This is not going to be the last pandemic. Should we base the future responses to any pandemics, any emergencies that we have, based on what we did that was good, what we did that was bad, and what we should or should not have done? Of course, but without any oversight at all, which this governor, by the way, has bragged that we are the only state in the union to have this type of, quote, comprehensive report. Well, that means the other 49 states, they didn't have to give somebody $10,000 a page. Maybe their legislators did their due diligence in calling for those committees, in calling for those investigations, and just getting public input on what exactly happened.
Yeah, and what ultimately ended up happening is we lost a lot of people we didn't need to lose during this pandemic because of decisions that our government made, which even at the time, Senator, did make sense. And that's one of the common threads. I don't want to put words in your mouth, which runs throughout your very accurate commentary and reaction to the governor's report. For instance, there's one notation on page 4 of this report that nobody saw it coming. We know that that's not true. Just a couple of years beforehand, there was a nursing facility in northern New Jersey that had a very wicked virus sweep through it. And there was plenty of opportunity to adjust and learn from that experience right in the Garden State. But the Murphy administration made no attempt to do so. They didn't adjust. So I'm with you. Certainly, the COVID-19 experience unto itself still should be addressed, even though we doubt legislators have an appetite for it. But what happens next? And I think, and you tell me where you are on this, part of the shame of what has happened with the COVID experience and how Governor Murphy mismanaged us is now I think that New Jerseyans are going to be very reluctant to respond accordingly when there is a real threat. And by real threat, I mean something maybe not necessarily from that Dustin Hoffman Outbreak movie, but something that might actually require extraordinary measures. It's a chicken little problem.
Applied, no doubt about it, Matt, that science was applied. But it was political science. It wasn't real science. It wasn't biological or epidemiological science. You mentioned Wanakee where 11 patients died. And at that time, Murphy's commissioner of health said, nursing homes are not hospitals. You can't have the isolation and the infection that control that you have in nursing homes. They flooded these nursing homes because initially they thought that all the hospitals were going to be overwhelmed. That never happened. But then we keep asking ourselves, you had the USS Comfort, which had over 1,000 beds available, and they only wound up using 182. The Jacob Javits Center, which I don't even know if they used any at all. I know they also contracted for about 1,000 other bed spaces in some other nursing homes in the state. Why were these patients from hospitals, why were they directed into nursing homes where maybe that virus didn't exist? That doesn't make any sense at all to me. So again, the only science to me that seems that they applied was political science. It wasn't regular science. It wasn't medical science, or epidemiological science. And worse, all you had to do is just apply common sense. They knew, and I'll tell you what. They opened up the prisoners, and we touched briefly on this. And one of the things I thought was hysterical to me is that there's a hesitancy among some of the prisoners, and I think there's a racial component to it. And there's a history there, and I can understand them being hesitant, quite frankly. You know, they never pushed prisoners to get the vaccine. They were pushing everybody else to get the vaccine. You would lose your job if you didn't get the vaccine. But they did not push prisoners to get the vaccine because it was a hesitancy. They wanted to be sensitive to what their needs were. You know, you can't have two sets of rules for the population. You either believe in it or you don't believe in it.
Yeah, and they did. And to your point, it was political science. But we give you credit, Senator, even though it's sometimes throughout this process you were a lonely voice, for being one of the few in Trenton that was willing to call this out from the beginning. We've been talking to State Senator Joe Panaccio, everyone, and I have already retweeted, I will again, his rebuttal to the Murphy administration's independent report. But you can head over to his Twitter handle too, Joe Panaccio, at Joe Panaccio, if you want to follow along with all the good work he's trying to do in New Jersey's capital. And as ever, Senator, we appreciate you joining us on 1210 WPHT.
Thanks for having me on.
Anytime. Thank you. Have a good weekend. Senator Jersey Joe, everyone. The whitewash, we're not going to let him get away with it, at least not here on this station. 855-839-1210 is the number. Quick break and back with more on the Matt Rooney Show in a moment.
This is an important notice to consumers facing $10,000 or more in credit card debt, medical bills, and other unsecured debt. If you're struggling to make monthly payments, there are special services that can significantly reduce what you pay each month by 40% or more. If you qualify, you could save hundreds of dollars each month. Most people don't know that these services are available right now to help American consumers with overwhelming credit card debt get significant savings and immediate financial relief without filing bankruptcy. Accredited Debt Relief has established a special hotline for you to call and learn what savings you may qualify for. They've helped consumers pay off over $1 billion in debt and are A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. So don't wait. Get the relief you need during these hard economic times.
For this free information, call the Accredited Debt Relief Hotline now. Call 800-204-9400. 800-204-9400. That's 800-204-9400. Program and services not available in all states.
Don't miss the Education Show with Dom Giordano every Sunday morning at 5:30. Find out how you can help your child or grandchild succeed. Sponsored by New Hope Academy.
Gerhardt's Luxury for Less sale is going on now, and there's never been a better time to elevate your kitchen with Monogram appliances. Introducing the new, reimagined, reinvented, and award-winning Monogram range. Discover the redefined world of luxury, one detail at a time, at Gerhardt's Monogram Experience showrooms. And for a limited time, you can receive up to 3 free Monogram appliances during Gerhardt's Luxury for Less Red Tag Sales event.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right. Get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit, hims.com/joy.
Now, your Live Nation lineup.
Don't miss these upcoming shows.
See Jim Gaffigan at the Met Philadelphia, December 12th. Check out Santana and Counting Crows at Freedom Mortgage Pavilion on June 21st. And see James Taylor at TD Pavilion at the Man on August 30th. Don't forget Jim Gaffigan, Santana and Counting Crows, and James Taylor.
For tickets and info, go to livenation.com.
If you're facing $10,000, $20,000, or even $30,000 or more in credit card debt, medical bills, or other unsecured debt, there are programs available that can consolidate those debts into one single reduced monthly payment you can afford if you qualify. Accredited Debt Relief is on a mission to help you become debt-free in just 24 to 48 months. They've helped over 300,000 qualified consumers. Hardworking Americans just like you pay off more than $1 billion in debt, earning them an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. Accredited Debt Relief will tailor the program to fit your specific budget and financial situation. So call Accredited Debt Relief now for your free no-obligation savings estimate and let them help you take control of your financial destiny.
Call 800-663-1313. 800-663-1313. That's 800-663-1313. 800-663-1313. Program and services not available in all states.
Hey, Southampton. We know your favorite station is Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Love me a good sea shanty.
Sketchy going.
It does.
It sounds like a Disney ride.
It does. We're like on Pirates of the Caribbean. A really lame version. Don't worry, Henry. I'm not going to shave your belly with a rusty razor.
Good.
I don't get anywhere near that thing.
No.
Not a chance.
Don't even try.
Would not. Would not. Man. You know what's kind of sad? I'm wearing this lime green shirt. This is like the only green shirt I have. I have two. I wore one today, and I was doing some work outside, and I realized that, it was dirty, right? Because I was doing work outside. I'm like, do I have another green shirt to wear on St. Patrick's Day? What kind of Irishman am I? So luckily, I dug this out of the summer bin. Got this going on. But I definitely need to step my game up for next St. Patrick's Day.
Absolutely, yeah.
Got to make a mental note for that.
I need you dressed as a leprechaun next year.
Done. Challenge accepted.
All right.
I will be here in full leprechaun attire if that's what you want.
I think that's what everyone wants.
I don't know. We can do polls, can't we? Over on the YouTubes. Do we know how to do that?
No.
There's a way to do the poll.
I'm sure there is.
Yeah. Well, I will dress up as a leprechaun as soon as you guys figure out how to do the poll over on the YouTube page.
Deal.
There's your deal. We were talking to Senator Joe Panaccio before the break. Let's have a little more Jersey news to close out the hour here. Hour number 2 almost in the can. Bob Menendez, Gold Bar Bob, may run now as an independent for U.S. Senate. Let me give you just a little bit of quick background here. Everyone's familiar with what's going on with Bob Menendez, right? He's been indicted like 30,000 times now for fundamentally, there's a lot that goes into it, but he's been accused of accepting bribes to act as a unregistered foreign agent for Qatar and Egypt. So now, with the trial coming up in May, there is a decent chance, I would say, based upon the evidence and the fact that one of his co-defendants flipped, that he could get convicted. He's reportedly thinking of running as an independent. I think that's because he's been inspired by an unlikely source. Donald Trump, our 2024 nominee in the Republican Party, has raised a ton of money online for his legal defense by running for president. At the end of 2023, the last 6 months, Trump hauled in something like $27 million $50 million overall for the year for his legal defense. I think Bob Menendez, if he runs as an independent, New Jersey, we have unaffiliated. We don't really have independent. He's probably doing it to pay his legal bills. But here's the significance for everyone that's watching the larger picture this year. The Senate is going to be on the line in 2024. That's part of the stakes for the American people as we head into this consequential cycle, right? New Jersey has not elected a Republican U.S. senator since before Watergate, right? Watergate, by the way, right? Not Russiagate, Watergate. Wouldn't it be something if Bob Menendez runs as an unaffiliated, gets 5-10% of the vote, and that's just enough taken away from Andy Kim or Tammy Murphy, that we elect a Republican U.S. senator from New Jersey, and that's what makes the difference in the United States Senate? I know it sounds kind of cuckoo, but it could happen if Menendez does indeed run. So remember, you heard it here first from your old pal Matt, that this is one of the many interesting storylines that you want to put a pin in as November inches ever closer with every passing day. 855-839-1210 is the number. Again, youtube.com/@1210WPHT. 2 hours in the can, one extremely consequential hour still left to go here on the Matt Rooney Show. So fill that coffee mug, pop some popcorn, and be back here in just a few minutes. We are not done yet.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. Are you looking for a way to boost energy, support your heart, and age with grace? Well, it's time to check out Oracine from Rescue Natural Supplements. Oracine provides essentials for our body's need to naturally combat fatigue and increase stamina without the high sugar, caffeine, and unhealthy ingredients common in superficial energy sources. Plus, Rescue Oracine supports healthy blood pressure and cardio function too. And now for a limited time, our listeners can take advantage of a special buy one, get one free on Rescue Oracine. Just use the code FUEL when ordering to get this exclusive deal. Call today at 800-26-ALIVE, 800-262-5483. Speak to a knowledgeable product consultant or use the code FUEL online at res-q.com. That's res-q.com. Remember the code FUEL, F-U-E-L. Buy one Oracine, get another free. Go to res-q.com now. Stay fueled and fit with Rescue Oracine.
I'm Benjamin F. Chavis Jr. with the good news brought to you by BetterHelp. The functionality of a nation's ports is a key measure of global business efficiencies and profitability. The good news is the Biden-Harris administration and the Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, have now provided a $3 billion Clean Ports initiative that will enable American ports to acquire environmental efficiencies.
What's the first thing you'll do if you have more time in the day? Nap, read, talk with a friend? Knowing what's important to you, it's easy to fit it into your schedule. Therapy can help you figure that out. BetterHelp offers affordable online therapy. Start the process in minutes and switch therapists anytime. Visit BetterHelp, HELP.com/good news to get 10% off of your first month. That's the good news. I'm Benjamin F. Chavis Jr. on the USBC Network, brought to you by BetterHelp.
It's the time of year to enjoy your life. Hey, Dawn Stensland here. Stop letting that pain in your joints keep you from doing what you want to do this spring. Just call my friends at QC Kinetics. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in regenerative medicine. I'm talking lasting joint pain relief. No surgery, no drugs, no downtime. QC Kinetics is literally transforming lives. Their advanced treatments harness your own body's ability to restore and repair damaged joint tissue. Pro athletes, they've been doing this for decades, but now this life-changing treatment is available for you, all of us. So you can walk, run, climb stairs, play golf, move again, pain-free. No pain pills, no risky surgery. QC Kinetics has tens of thousands of satisfied patients who are reclaiming their mobility. Live your best life this spring and summer. Call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation. 215-999-3000, 215-999-3000. Tell Dawn sent you.
I'm Benjamin F. Chavis Jr. with the good news brought to you by BetterHelp. The functionality of a nation's ports is a key measure of global business efficiencies and profitability. The good news is the Biden-Harris administration and the Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, have now provided a $3 billion Clean Ports Initiative that will enable American ports to acquire environmental efficiencies.
What's the first thing you'll do if you have more time in the day? Nap, read, talk with a friend? Knowing what's important to you, it's easy to fit it into your schedule. Therapy can help you figure that out. BetterHelp offers affordable online therapy. Start the process in minutes and switch therapists anytime. Visit BetterHelp, HELP.com/good news to get 10% off of your first month. That's the good news. I'm Benjamin F. Chavis Jr. on the USBC Network, brought to you by BetterHelp.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right, get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
WPHT, WPHT-HD, WOGL HD3 Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app. Live and local with Matt Rooney on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Welcome back, old friends, new frenemies, and all who lie elsewhere in between on the spectrum that is life. I am Matt Rooney. This is the Matt Rooney Show, airing every Sunday night, 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard, here on 1210 WPHT. It is my honor, my pleasure, my privilege, and my duty to be with you every Sunday evening as we unpack the week that has gone by and prepare you for the week ahead. The first 2 hours were jam-packed here at the program and throughout, despite the fact that he is dehydrated, a little headachy, probably hungry. Henry, whose BAC is probably still somewhere around 0.3 or 0.4, in there popping Irish potatoes into his mouth, has still produced a heck of a program and interspersed some Irish tunes throughout.
Mm-hmm.
So you are a consummate professional, young man. That's basically what I'm trying to say.
That's all I try to be.
Look, you're getting the golf clap from Kirk. Did you ever know that you're Kirk's hero?
I did not know that.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
You bet.
Don't ever meet your heroes.
That's right. That's right. That's the worst part about working with you, Henry. That's really, you hit the nail on the head there, that you've been demythologized, right?
Right.
Yeah. You were so impressive from afar, my man. So impressive from afar. 855-839-1210 is the number here at the station. Should you wish to call in with something interesting, consequential, worth putting on air. You can also follow along over on YouTube, youtube.com/@1210WPHT. That same stream is over as well on my X account at Matt Rooney NJ.
It's booming tonight.
It's booming tonight. Yeah, these are some of the best numbers we've put up in a while. My suspicion is there's a lot of I'll come up with a euphemism for them. A lot of Henrys out there that maybe were playing a little hard yesterday. So they're home tonight. They're not out tonight. They're recovering, and for whatever reason, after popping some Advil and some Gatorade, they decided that listening to me was part of their hangover cure. It makes zero sense to yours truly, but I'll take it.
Don't sell yourself short.
It makes 5% sense to me, Henry. You're right. We need to have a little bit of confidence in our product around here.
Again, shoot for the stars.
That's what we do. That's what we do, Kirk.
Yep.
And then we fall ever so short sometimes. On the subject of Advil, Henry, which you probably have had too much of in the past 24 hours. Have you seen this Advil commercial?
I haven't. No, I've heard of it.
Oh baby. Oh baby. Yeah. So long story short, Advil is the latest company for whatever reason to decide to get into the wokeness arena. They have a new ad campaign which ties pain to systemic racism. You maybe haven't realized this, Henry, as a patriarchal white male, right? For those who don't know you, because there's not a producer cam, you are white. You identify as white, right?
Yeah, as far as I know.
As far as you know. Kirk, confirmation, does he appear?
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, Irish and
Yes.
Italian.
I'm not going to ask about pronouns.
You look like you sunburn.
No.
His pronouns are sun and burn in the summer.
I you know what? One of the things is I don't burn.
No, I don't.
I guarantee you.
Don't lie to me, Henry.
I swear on my life, I don't burn. It's the craziest thing.
Do you apply and reapply?
No.
Really?
Very, very little.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Because you were objectively pretty white.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
You would think I'd absorb the sun's rays like it's nobody's business, but no, it just reflects right back off me.
Interesting. Are you Italian? Are you part Italian?
Yeah, I'm a quarter Italian.
A quarter Italian? Okay. All right. Maybe that's part of what it is.
Possibly.
There's just enough Ital in you.
Mhm.
Like me. I kind of a little bit olivey because I got a little bit of Italian blood.
Is that what we're calling it?
Is that what-
You're olivey?
Slightly olivey, yeah. Well, no, what you're seeing right now, the blotchiness, that's early stage liver problems. That's a different thing.
Is that what that is? Okay.
Naturally, I'm olivey. Now I'm fat and pasty. That's a choice, right?
Is it?
I'm trans Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Okay. I'm transitioning.
I'm transitioning to Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. Yes. Yes. But this is real. This is a real thing. I'm not making this up. I want you to believe me. This show is not being produced by the Babylon Bee. There is now an Advil Pain Equity Project, right? That has a goal of attacking inequity in researching pain concerning minority populations, right? And they have an ad, and there is a black woman who looks like she's having a terrible migraine. And if you go to a store and you see an Advil display, there is some statistics concerning whether or not pain in certain populations, ethnic populations, is taken less seriously because they're non-white. We talked a little bit about marketing at the beginning of the show tonight, Henry, right? I was complaining about how now every holiday involves some kind of mythical creature that parents have to make appear and do something for their children, right? Not just Christmas and Easter anymore. And you said to me, well, welcome to corporate America, right? I hope it's become apparent for everyone listening to this show and hopefully beyond that, systemic racism was always something that was manufactured, right? The idea that embedded in all of our institutions is racism. But now they're kind of sort of making it real because it's marketable, right? So they have brought it to life, didn't exist before, but now there's systemic racism that has been created for the purpose of selling products in this country, right? Whether it be Advil, whether it be certain educational programs, whether it be, car commercials now include woke messaging. They recognize that young, mushy-headed former undergraduates that are leaving colleges with degrees believe this garbage, and it's all marketed to them. Ironically, many of the people that are marketing this to, right, are not part of the populations that they're alleging are being mistreated by, inequity in research for pain medication, right? It's these woke suburban women that think that they're doing the right thing by buying one product over another because it's serving a woke aim. Meanwhile, Black Americans, Hispanic Americans continuing to suffer economically under Joe Biden when they were doing much better under Donald Trump. And surprise, surprise, the latest polling shows Donald Trump performing quite well historically for a Republican among Black voters and Hispanic voters. White liberals gravitating towards Advil, because of systemic racism messaging. The people that they think they're helping increasingly decided, you know what, maybe the orange man is onto something. We live in very bizarre times. I appreciate that, and I know you know that. You don't need me to tell you. But if you know how to read between the lines, if you're paying attention closely, if you can perceive the subtext, you can kind of see it coming down the field before the train reaches where you are on the tracks. But here's my true hope, Henry. I think initially, because Americans are instinctively, by their nature, good people, many wanted to believe this whole idea that, yeah, maybe there's systemic racism out there, or at least if there is, we should be conscious of it and we should attack it, right? As they push further and further with this systemic racism garbage and they apply it to more and more things transparently to make money, like pain medication, I have a feeling that Americans are going to get the joke at some point. I have a feeling they're going to get the joke and they're going to realize that they're being manipulated in the most horrible way of all, right? We're preying upon the inherent goodness of Americans and their desire to help their fellow Americans and give them access to the American dream. So, I mean, look, I've been proven wrong before, but I will continue to have faith in the American people, right? Even if what it takes to wake them up is Advil trying to cash in with easily one of the most absurd advertising campaigns that I have ever laid eyes on, right? Whew. 855-839-1210 is the number here at the station. YouTube.com/@1210 WPHT. Only about 45 minutes remaining to us here at the station, but I've got plenty more I want to cover, including some of the latest concerning the backlash against Chuck Schumer, who said some of the dumbest things to date concerning the Hamas-Israeli conflict, which is really saying something because the commentary surrounding what's happening overseas could not be any dumber. I've got some thoughts. I suspect you do too. Let's talk about them tonight on the Matt Rooney Show. Quick commercial, back with more in a sec. Don't move a muscle.
At California Psychics, we know that nagging doubts like, how much will a psychic cost? And how will I find the right one? Can stop you from getting the guidance you need. That's why we offer the best psychics at the best value. California Psychics have a wide range of psychics available 24/7, so you can find the one that meets your needs and your budget. If you can't decide, our dedicated customer service team are always available to guide you. Right now, new customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. And what do you know? Most of our customers get everything they need from a reading within that time. Our psychics may surprise you with their ability to offer unique insight on your life situation. In fact, we guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. So, there's never been a better time to take the next step. Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com and experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
I have a challenge for you. I want you to write down everything that you worry about, from your kids to your bills, from the economy to the election. It would probably be a pretty long list. And when you get to a certain age, you can add retirement to that list. Did you save enough? What do you do about Social Security? Is your money in the right place? And is that 401k going to cause you a tax problem? We all worry about retirement. At Spectrum Wealth Partners, they're offering a complimentary retirement consultation. It's a free meeting to talk through all those concerns. So instead of worrying about retirement, let Spectrum Wealth show you ways to help retire your worries. Call 856-322-8686 or at SpectrumWP.com. And tune in to the Retirement Spectrum with Alan Cohen, Saturdays at 3 here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Advisory services offered through Concurrent Investment Advisors, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. Concurrent Investment Advisors, LLC, and Spectrum Wealth Partners are not affiliated companies.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right. Get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
Don't miss Good News in Real Estate with Deanne Katsaros and Mark Cumberland, Saturdays at 1 p.m. Find out all you need to know about home buying and selling. Considering a career in real estate? Visit PhiladelphiaRealEstateClasses.com. Good News in Real Estate, Saturdays 1 p.m. on WPHT.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshare. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare. In the process, started what's now called the timeshare cancellation industry. The ugly truth is when you buy a timeshare, you can't tell me how much it's going to cost or when it's going to end. I recently helped a couple that had their maintenance fees go from $800 to $3,200 a year. They also received a $4,000 assessment for a hurricane that was over 1,000 miles away. Sound crazy? The crazy thing is this never ends. Call my office now. If we take you as a client, I guarantee we'll cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call for your free information kit. Call 800-329-2121. That's 800-329-2121. 800-329-2121.
For a complete list of Talk Radio 1210 WPHT's contest rules, go to 1210WPHT.com/rules.
Follow Talk Radio 1210 on Instagram and Facebook at 1210 WPHT.
I kind of imagine that this song is what drowning sounds like.
Do you think that's what they were going for when they made it?
Probably not. But the law of unintended consequences can often be cruel, Henry. It can often be very, very cruel. That song was at one point part of the soundtrack of The Sopranos. I'm trying to remember which episode. But before we get to a more serious topic, even though there are serious overtones and undertones of this one, a little bit of Sopranos news for all you out there. Not traditionally where you would go, Kirk, on St. Patrick's Day. One of the most famous Italian mafia depictions in art of all time, right? Chris Moltisanti was the character on the program. But the actor in question, right, was recently performing in a stage show, I think in New York City. And someone decided to interrupt it, another actor, or at least that's what the guy said he was. Michael Imperioli, by the way, for those who don't know, was the actor who depicted Christopher Moltisanti on the famous HBO series. Christopher. That's right. Of course, met an untimely end, right, at the hands of his uncle.
Oh,
Spoiler alert.
Spoilers.
Right. Well, I'm sorry if you didn't get to it in the past 15 years. I can't be blamed for that, for spoiling The Sopranos for you. Someone walked out in the middle of this performance of the show called Enemy of the People, and started out by talking about rejecting scientists. I guess this guy is some kind of far-left eco-protester. Long story short, Chrissy, as Tony Soprano referred to him on the show, decided to throw down and single-handedly threw this guy out of the arena. I think we have some audio. Enjoy.
I object to the silencing of scientists. I am very, very sorry to interrupt your night and this amazing performance I am a theater artist. I work in this theater professionally. And
I'm sorry, you need to leave.
Throwing my career under the bus.
Get him out.
And you're not recognized. Let's go. We got somebody. Where's the house manager? They do not have the floor. The oceans are acidified. The oceans are rising. It will swallow this city and this entire theater whole. I am putting my career on the line because we are not doing anything about this crisis. The water is coming for us. Broadway will not survive on a dead planet.
The water is coming for us. Did you catch that line at the end?
What is he even talking about?
There'll be no theater, Henry, on a dead planet.
Listen to him. He knows everything.
I gave my life to my children on a silver platter.
Oh, I gave my life to my children on a silver platter.
Now, Michael Imperioli, like most actors, thespians, took to X or Instagram or TikTok or one of those platforms and kind of empathized or attempted to empathize with the protester who you couldn't see it, obviously. You could only hear it. He grabbed the guy and all but threw him out of the arena himself, kind of channeling his character from The Sopranos. But you have to think. I mean, Michael Imperioli obviously isn't a complete moron, right? He's been reasonably successful. Does a guy like that think in his more private moments he maybe can't say it out loud? Hey, you know what? Maybe these people are nuts, and maybe their cause is a little crazy. I often wonder whether or not there's that moment of introspection.
Well, he must have got upset because I know this play. It's a lot of it's about like protesting and stuff.
Yeah.
So people in the crowd weren't sure if this was part of the act or not because apparently there was a few protests in the crowd besides this guy.
It was confusing.
Yeah.
And the only giveaway was that I think that Michael Imperioli, say that 3 times fast, and his co-star on stage were in period dress, and this guy was not.
Yeah.
But you are right. When you watch the video, there's that moment of dawning comprehension that, hey, maybe this is something a little bit different. This wasn't planned. So there you go. The world in which we live. The crazies are even coming for the leftists now. And one of the clearest examples of that has been this roiling controversy inside the Democrat Party over Hamas and the Palestinians and what's happening in Israel. I was driving through Collingswood today in South Jersey, and outside of a Krispy Kreme location, there was on the corner a pro-Palestinian rally. You maybe have seen one yourself if you live in a bluer neck of the woods. I was driving through Collingswood, happened to see them out there. I did not honk. I will tell you that I saw somebody urinating in public the other day at a St. Patrick's Day pub crawl. Like I was driving through a section of town and there were a bunch of people doing their thing, and I honked at that person.
Yeah, I mean, that's just tradition.
Yeah. Well, I also figure if you honk at them and they can maintain what they're doing, they've reached a whole different level, right?
Yeah.
You know, so there's a little bit of game, respecting the game there. But I didn't honk at these folks, but I was sad that Americans are actually out there actively defending vile terrorists not that long removed from 9/11, right? Most people alive have some memory of 9/11, that's where we're at. But it also, once again, crystallizes this problem the Democrats have heading into the 2024 election, to the point where you have the top Democrat in the United States Senate, Chuck Schumer, who is Jewish, right? Chuck Schumer is Jewish, but because his party base is so far left and so whacked out that they empathize with terrorists, he felt the need to throw Benjamin Netanyahu under the bus this week on the floor of the United States Senate. If you missed this incredible moment, we have the audio for you here on the Matt Rooney Show. Listen up.
But in order to achieve a two-state solution, the reality is that things must change. Right now, there are four major obstacles standing in the way of two states. And until they are removed from the equation, there will never be peace in Israel and Gaza and the West Bank. The four major obstacles are Hamas, and the Palestinians who support and tolerate their evil ways. Radical right-wing Israelis in government and society. Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu.
So again, that is the highest ranking Democrat at present on Capitol Hill, a Jewish American, right? He's Jewish. His parents were Jewish, blaming Israel. This is in a different context. What we would call this, Kirk, is victim blaming, right? We hear this term all the time in the culture. The left they're usually the ones that apply it. This is victim blaming, all because those dopes that I saw on a corner in South Jersey this weekend, that is who they need to show up at the polls to save Joe Biden. These are the people that voted unaffiliated, right? Non-committed in Michigan during the Michigan primary this year, setting off alarm bells throughout the Democrat coalition concerning what their chances look like for the November election, not only to get Joe Biden back in the White House, but also to advance their cause of taking complete control of Congress. It's crazy. It's crazy that we've arrived at this pass. And once again, I mentioned a moment ago, do liberals like Michael Imperioli, when they have these encounters, wonder privately whether or not they've decided to line up with mentally ill people? I wonder the same of Chuck Schumer, whether, because that's another objectively not stupid person, right? You wonder whether or not in his private moments, he hates himself and hates the past that he and his party have now arrived at. Let's hear the rebuttal, though, from Netanyahu himself, who appeared on, I believe it was Fox and Friends, after Chuck Schumer made those remarks. I think the Prime Minister of Israel, his comments say it all. You tell me.
I think Schumer's statements are wholly inappropriate. I think we're not a banana republic. The people of Israel will choose when they'll have elections, who they'll elect, and it's not something that will be foisted upon us. That, it's wrong to try to replace the elected leaders of a sister democracy and a staunch American ally at any time, but especially during the time of war. Just imagine that after 9/11, and when you're in the midst of fighting Al-Qaeda and winning, people will say, oh, well, the right thing, some Israeli would say, oh, the right thing to do is now to have new elections in America or have President Bush resign. It's inappropriate, shouldn't have been said. It's wrong. As far as my considerations, they're not for my personal survival. They are for the survival of the Jewish state. And that requires pursuing the war. It's something that my government enjoys the support of the overwhelming majority of Israelis. And let me tell you something, not only the majority of Israelis, but the majority of the American people, 82% support Israel consistently over the 5 months of the war against Hamas and not Hamas. So, I don't know why Senator Schumer made those statements. I think the only thing that we should be focused on is changing the regime in Gaza, bringing down the terrorist regime of Hamas and not the duly elected government of Israel. That's the right policy.
Well, as you know, Donald Trump is the front runner.
So Netanyahu there, all on point, but he knows more than he just said. He knows why Chuck Schumer made those comments, because the Democrat coalition is currently being piloted by mental patients. People who actually find more common cause with murderous terrorists over in the Middle East who put babies in ovens, raped and murdered women, mowed down innocent concert goers. And I'm only touching the tip of the iceberg of the atrocities the people of Israel have suffered, right? In very recent memory here, right? They find more common cause with those monsters than their fellow Americans here at home, right? That's who Chuck Schumer needs to motivate. Those are the people that Chuck Schumer represents. And it tells you all you need to know about Chuck Schumer and his party and why they deserve to get their rear ends kicked at the polls this November. 855-839-1210 is the number. Let's take a break. When we come back, more content. Possibly I'll go over to the phones. No promises. Who knows what's going to happen here on the Matt Rooney Show? Tune back in just a minute to find out.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right. Get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
If you're looking for that perfect piece of furniture, you have to check out Bucks County Estate Traders. They have the largest in-stock inventory in the region, and I mean largest, enough to fill a 58,000 square foot showroom. Quality, high-end furniture and accessories, modern, traditional, mid-century, all types of European styles, current pieces, as well as antiques. They'll arrange to ship anywhere, or you can pick up in store. So visit them on Bethlehem Pike in Hatfield or at buckscountyestatetraders.com.
Feel like everything's clouded by doubt? Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com. Our psychics are available to talk 24/7, and we guarantee if it's not life-changing, it's free. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Her words weren't written under peaceful shade, but under fear for her life.
I don't think of all the misery, but of the beauty that still remains.
The words of Anne Frank continue to fill us with hope. Hope. Pass it on from PassItOn.com.
Pass it on.
You've heard it said, he's a diamond in the rough. Or maybe, diamonds are forever. Here's something else I've learned about diamonds. They're just pieces of coal put under pressure for a long, long, long time. So when I start feeling like I want to give up, I think about that little piece of coal. And if that piece of coal can make something of itself by not giving up, so can I. Persistence is in you.
Pass it on.
From PassItOn.com.
Wendy's Breakfast 2 for $3 Biggie Bundles let you create your own delicious combo. Choose from a sausage biscuit, egg and cheese biscuit, small seasoned potatoes, and a medium hot coffee. But it's obvious which combo's the best. Sausage biscuit and small seasoned potatoes. Well, maybe it's the fresh cracked egg and cheese biscuit with a medium hot coffee. Or 2 savory sausage biscuits. Whichever you pick, you can't go wrong. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's 2 for $3 Biggie Bundles.
Limited time only. U.S. price and participation may vary. Not valid in a combo. Single item at regular price.
Hello, America. It's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you don't have Consumer Cellular yet, now is the perfect time to switch and save. For a limited time, new customers can get wireless service for as low as $15 a month for your first year. Yep, the same exact nationwide coverage as the leading carriers for $15 a month for an entire year. What are you waiting for? Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com and use code RADIO15.
See consumercellular.com/firstyear15 for promotional details.
Hey, Riverton. We know your favorite station is Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
It's happened again. Yet again, Palestinian protesters attack the White House fence. This is happening like once a week now, right? There's an angry protest outside the White House. On Saturday night, it's been reported that, and this is the New York Post, non-essential personnel were evacuated from the area as a precaution as the aggressive demonstration ramped up, the Secret Service confirmed. Now, this is the New York Post, which in the panorama that is American media, I think is about as far right as we still have. Maybe not as far right, but they're definitely on the right side of the spectrum. And they're calling it an aggressive protest. It was not all that long ago I'm old enough to remember when attacking a federal building in Washington, D.C. was called something else. It was referred to as an insurrection. And the people that were accused of perpetrating it, many of them are still awaiting trial. Some of them have now gone to jail. Hundreds have been prosecuted as a result of the events of January 6, 2021. It's so fresh in our memories because the left will never let go of it that even Mike Pence has just recently now given an interview saying that it's part of the reason why he won't vote for Donald Trump, his former boss, in 2024. Yet no one was arrested following this latest incident at the White House. Situational insurrection politics, folks. Circumstantial insurrection prosecutions. If you are concerned and you're on the left, or maybe you're not on the right, you think you're somewhere in between, about the state of justice in this country, this is where you need to start, right? Why are some people that do one thing having the book thrown at them, and other people, because their priorities line up with where the media and the left are completely left alone? I'm only looking for equity. I never come on here and tell anyone in this audience how to think. And generally speaking, and I said this after January 6th, someone punches a cop, someone destroys private property, right? Throw the book at them. Whatever law they broke, prosecute them accordingly. But shouldn't go both ways. And when it doesn't go both ways, do we really have a justice system anymore? Or do we just have a politically oriented prosecution system designed to punish whoever is not in sync and propping up the regime? Isn't this exactly what the left is telling us they don't like about Vladimir Putin? And we're supposed to send billions of dollars, even if it's not going where it's supposed to go, to send it overseas to stop this guy? And yet right here at home, they're attempting to set up a similar dynamic in the justice system. You don't have to take my word for it. It's right there in print, in the news. If you can read, you can figure it out without your old pal Matt telling you all about it. I'm a little fired up about it. Can you tell? 855-839-1210 is the number. Let's go to the phones. Chris from Malvern with a call back to a couple segments ago. I think, Chris, this is relating to my comments concerning Henry and whether or not he gets a sunburn in the summer. Correct or incorrect?
Yes. Yes. As a matter of fact, thank you for taking my call, because I really like your show, and I really like Henry. He's really come on, and he mentioned when he said that he was 1/4 Italian, I really laughed out loud. And technically, during when I was on the hold, it technically kind of encapsulates a little bit with what you're recently was broadcasted about Netanyahu, is that the ethnic identity that he mentions, being Italian, is laughable in my sense, because, of course, if I were to tell you my last name, you would say, oh, well, I was German. But to be German ethnically it's absurd. It's well over 100 years. And to be Italian, basically, I'm 62, and in the 80s, it was relevant to be Italian. But the only thing relevant about being Italian anymore is maybe the vowel at the end of your name. There's so much, the whole ethnic identity issue that's encapsulating our current culture is so absurd. And when it comes to the whole issue about Israel, hopefully I'm being articulate, is that Americans who identify as being ethnically Jewish, to some extent, aren't relevant to being Israeli. So anyway.
So is the point that you're making that there's a lot of people in this country who are of Jewish ancestry, but that doesn't necessarily have anything to do with how they view Israel?
Right.
Okay.
I mean, especially when it comes to the immense existential issue involving what's happening right there.
So you raise a very interesting point, Chris, because obviously, and this won't surprise you to hear this, I'm with you that I don't like people being put in boxes because my grandparents came from somewhere, because my skin is a certain shade, because I worship God in a certain way. Therefore, I'm supposed to behave a certain way. That is fundamentally racism, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, that's what it is. At the same time, one thing that I would say is a little bit different about this situation, Jewish Americans, whether or not they're practicing Jewish, whether or not, like many Americans, they maybe come from Jewish ancestry, but haven't set foot in a synagogue in years. No one is actively attacking the Irish around the globe right now, right? Nobody's
today, of course, it's St. Patrick's Day.
Right, especially not on St. Patrick's Day, but Jewish Americans, Jewish Germans, regardless of where you are, because of some ancient idiocy and prejudice, which is on steroids in the Middle East, right? Jews around the globe are still very much a target of evil, awful people. So I hear what you're saying, right? And thanks, by the way, for calling in, Chris, the 1210 WPHT. I get your point. We shouldn't put people in boxes, but there is a clear and present danger to Jewish Americans and Jews all over the globe, not just because of Hamas, but because the fecklessness and the weakness of American leaders, like Chuck Schumer, like Joe Biden, like Kamala Harris, that say the right thing when they're in certain company, right? But when it actually comes time to do something to defend Jews around the globe and Jews here in this country, right? Like standing behind Benjamin Netanyahu, they can't do it. Why? I'm going to give the dead horse one more swift kick here, even if I could glue on my shoe. Because the Democrat Party coalition is now a coalition of mental patients. People that find more common cause with terrorists than their fellow Americans, Jewish, Catholic, Hindu, Muslim, whatever. It's a sick time, not just for this country, but for the Democrat Party specifically. And that's one of the things I continue to use this program for, to highlight for people not just what I believe and why I think conservatism, right, and the philosophy of limited government and the importance of having a government that primarily exists to protect freedom and to further and advance liberty, right? I not only talk about why that's important, but also why the Democrat Party in 2024 should not only be rejected, but why it shouldn't be taken seriously given what it's become. And what it's become is something pretty awful and dark, objectively speaking. I think we have to take one more break, Henry. Is that correct? We have a lot of people that want to play ads because we're still in a capitalist society, at least for now.
Yeah. No,
Right?
you'd be correct.
I would be correct. I'm occasionally correct, and even more occasionally, Henry's willing to admit it here on the Matt Rooney Show. One more time out, and then we'll be back to close out the program in a sec. See you in a minute.
This is an important notice to consumers facing $10,000 or more in credit card debt, medical bills, and other unsecured debt. If you're struggling to make monthly payments, there are special services that can significantly reduce what you pay each month by 40% or more. If you qualify, you could save hundreds of dollars each month. Most people don't know that these services are available right now to help American consumers with overwhelming credit card debt get significant savings and immediate financial relief without filing bankruptcy. Accredited Debt Relief has established a special hotline for you to call and learn what savings you may qualify for. They've helped consumers pay off over $1 billion in debt and are A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. So don't wait. Get the relief you need during these hard economic times.
For this free information, call the Accredited Debt Relief Hotline now. Call 800-216-3366. 800-216-3366. That's 800-216-3366. Program and services not available in all states.
Hi, everyone. Stephanie here from Emmons. You know, a great way to spring out of those winter blues is by upgrading the favorite place in your home, your bathroom. Emmons will give you an affordable, modest bathroom refresh with synthetic stone surrounds in as little as 1 day. That's right, 1 day. And Emmons will include interior design consultations at no cost to you. This is an easy way to spruce up your bathroom without having to break the bank. Call Emmons today at 856-885-6677 or check out our website at callemmons.com.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. You've been hearing me talk about Rescue Supplements for years. Well, Rescue Natural Supplements has launched a free personalized health survey that prioritizes all of your health goals. Whether you've been taking Rescue products for years or don't know where to start, in just 5 minutes, discover tailored Rescue supplements that will fill the gaps in your nutritional needs. That means no more guessing on products at the store, ignoring these issues altogether. The best part? Right now, you get a whopping 50% off recommended products after completing the survey. To get started, go to res-q.life. Again, that's res-q.life. Or call 800-26-ALIVE, 800-262-5483. Get help from a knowledgeable Rescue product consultant. I took the short survey. Let me tell you, I was blown away to see my results. So don't wait. Visit res-q.life and get 50% off recommended products today.
Molly Malloy's Kitchen and Bar is located at Center Court in the historic Reading Terminal Market, featuring a private bar, diner seating, and a great view of the market scene. Molly Malloy's uses fresh ingredients, like produce from the Iovine brothers, along with other market vendors. Rib cheesesteaks made with center-cut ribeye on seeded Sarcones rolls, fresh biscuits made for breakfast sandwiches, or 35 beers, ciders, and Prosecco on tap. Molly Malloy's in the Reading Terminal Market has a little something for everyone. Go to mollymalloysphilly.com.
Dawn here. Are you looking to improve the health of your lawn? Look no further. Natural Lawn of America has been creating green, lush lawns quickly, more naturally, and with fewer weeds for more than 35 years. Their certified specialists tailor their treatments to your lawn's specific needs, reducing the need for chemicals and creating a safer lawn for your entire family. Call today. Take advantage of Natural Lawn's limited time offer. Free seeding every year. 800-FREE-SEED or naturallawn.com. Greener grass, fewer weeds, guaranteed.
Pain in your knees, shoulders, hips, or back that won't go away? Check out QC Kinetics. No surgery, drugs, or downtime. QC Kinetics, 215-999-3000.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Last year, more clients hired Morgan & Morgan than ever before. We now have more offices, more staff, and more lawyers than any other injury firm in the world, protecting America, fighting for you.
Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Calling on Blackwood to follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
You've done me dirty, Henry.
You knew I was going to get you.
You've done me dirty. Did I not explicitly say at the beginning of the program that there were some no-goes for tonight?
You did.
And I did mention you two.
You did.
And yet...
Not us two.
Not us two. Not we two, you two. And yet, what do I hear, Kirk? I hear you two playing over the airwaves of 1210 WPHT.
You know I'm a rule breaker.
Look, I get your rebel without a cause persona that you cultivate here at the station with your luscious mullet and your devil may care attitude, right? But we have to have some standards around here, Henry.
You don't like that song?
No. I mean it when I say, like, the only song.
I love it. I'm not sucking up to Matt, but I love it. It's on my playlist. So I'm not sucking up to the man, but
look, if Sunday Bloody Sunday comes on, I'll leave it on.
Okay.
Every other U2 song sounds alike, and they're all terrible, horrendous.
I won't disagree that they all sound alike.
You just happen to think the sound is okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well,
and yeah, Sunday Bloody Sunday isn't exactly return music.
I think
I agree.
Right now, come on, give me just a little bit of it.
Hold on.
I think it's superior for a program like this. It conveys seriousness, events of import, right? It's dramatic. That would have been a much better choice for bumper music. Yeah, come on. Especially the intro.
Yeah, that's true.
I can't believe the news today, Henry. By the way, given what we talk about on the program, I can't believe the news today.
Yeah.
Have I made my case?
It's almost like you're a lawyer or something.
That's what we do. We're dogs attacking a bone, man. We never let go. Henry, let me ask you this on the way out the door here. I'm busting your chops, but now I have a serious question because you're a Gen Z.
Yes.
Right? I mean, unlike myself, who's like on the Gen X millennial bubble, and Kirk, I think, voted for FDR.
I'm Gen X, by the way.
You can self-identify however you want, Kirk.
Oh, okay. My pronouns are O and K.
TikTok.
Yeah.
Ban, no ban.
No ban.
No ban. You want it.
Yeah.
You're perfectly comfortable being spied on by the Chi Cops.
What are they doing with my stuff? What are they gonna do with my information that I like watching?
What are they doing with it?
Yeah. What are they gonna know?
They're probably the ones that told you to play U2. They probably sent you a TikTok message, undermine Matt Rooney's hugely consequential program by playing crappy music.
The algorithm made him do it.
Yeah. So there you go.
Yeah, what's Xi Jinping gonna do with the information that I like watching, like college basketball highlight videos or like?
See, this is my theory. I think that your generation in particular, because I'm just old enough where I remember a time before social media.
Right.
You have never been in a world where social media has not dominated everything, at least since you've been old enough to use it, right?
Yeah.
So you guys are so comfortable with having every aspect of your lives accessible that it's like,
No, I
the
wouldn't.
Chinese regime has access to all my data and information and my thoughts and my feelings, personal pictures. How's that any different than what I
don't think
dealing with otherwise?
I don't think it's any different than any of these American companies having my data. So I think it's the same thing. It's just whatever.
So the Chinese have, and this isn't a rhetorical question, I'm curious. The Chinese having your information doesn't scare you any more than the idea that Mark Zuckerberg and Facebook have all of your data.
Correct.
Okay. Interesting. Kirk, counterpoint?
I'm not on TikTok. I can care less. I kind of agree that, so, growing up, there wasn't anything. I mean, there was maybe some, to be honest, I don't know. I mean, it's like ban or no ban. I mean, it's one-sided, I think, and I don't know.
Well, Donald
Personally, I
Trump
wouldn't.
has come out against it. And I think part of the Trumpsters' argument is that it actually is going to empower some of the less positive forces in the tech industry, right? Like, in other words, and I think this goes to your point, Henry, is an empowered Zuckerberg really better?
Yeah.
I have to tell you, I still lean towards banning TikTok because I think if you look at it in any other context, right? If I were to tell you that the Soviet Union in 1980 had a listening device in every American household or most American households, what would we do? We would seek to try to remove that threat. I mean, more or less, this is what that is, right? You don't have to agree with banning it, but that's what it is. So I think I would have voted in favor of banning it. There's one congressman, I don't think we have time to play it, in North Carolina who's actually now flip-flop, Jeff Jackson. We were talking about this off air, Henry. He voted against it, and then he did this mea culpa on TikTok, I believe, apologizing for the vote, and he's getting roasted on TikTok for it. Again, I think it ties in with the other discussion we had earlier, how the Democrat coalition now is putting Democrats increasingly in a difficult position, whether it's standing up to China, Hamas extremists, whoever. There's never enough time to get to everything we want to here on the Matt Rooney Show. Thank you to Henry. Thank you to Kirk. Thanks to everyone that listened. Until next week, stay safe, stay sane, and keep fighting for this greatest nation in God's creation. It's worth it.
If you want jazz music,